working? We'll see. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
All right, so we are live. You can tell I was just setting up. So I am here with Mallory. So Mallory, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
You're doing good. So right now we are at the lake getting ready for a campfire. Woo, woo. So feel free to open the topics up. I kind of picked which mental illness is the most difficult. That one's too far. I can't see.
Well, I can look for you. I can go in.
Okay. Yeah, you want to read that one?
Yeah.
That one's the one that goes fast though. But how you guys doing? I see people logging in already, and I'll bring that closer. But there's different things that go on with different mental illnesses. The people that you know, do you know anybody who really struggles, and do you happen to know what they're struggling with? Do you know anybody?
Oh, I have a few family members who struggle with mental disorders, depression, anxiety. I know some people might not think that depression and anxiety is like difficult or like a severe mental illness, or
Right.
But when it affects like anything could
it can
affect your
affect
life.
your work, your relationships. I know I didn't realize how bad it could get. I had a I have so many different things I went to school for, but during my nail tech, our instructor had terrible panic attacks. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I didn't understand it, because it's like, what could be so bad? Like, we're just sitting here in class and she has to run away.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's what makes people who suffer from depression and anxiety, I think they're the ones to suffer most, because everyone just is like, to the mental health world, I guess you can compare it as like a common cold,
right,
or something like that.
Right.
They're just like, oh, you're just a little sad, you're just a little anxious,
and
you get over it. We all experience that.
And I think for women, it's also more difficult. I had a friend. What is it? They call me Elisa, or my name is Elisa. Has a book about her, and she actually had, I can't remember, I think it was encephalitis, might have been meningitis, but she's like, I feel this like creepy wave going over me. I almost feel evil. And they're like, well, how old are you? And she was like 20, 21 at the time, and being female. And they're like, yeah, you're just emotional. And she actually ended up in a coma, almost died from it. Had to learn how to walk again. She's got that foot drop from, being in the bed too long. So it's kind of like the stigma that's placed on people too. Have you seen, you're a lot younger than I am, but you're still my friend. So for me, I've seen where it's a lot more accepted as time goes on that people do struggle. During your lifetime, have you seen anything? And guys, I'd like to open it up to you guys too. You can feel free to interject some comments or questions. We're just kind of talking till you guys kind of open it up for us.
Well, I think with my type of background in the medical field and in working with individuals with disabilities, I see a whole diverse of, I don't want to say like mental illness, but like struggles, everyone, settings and stuff. It's not just when I did at-home care for children on the spectrum, I just wasn't there for that child or that young adult. I was there for the whole family.
And that's a good point too. If you're a caregiver, like when I was taking care of my father and my grandfather, they started really struggling. It was a struggle for me too, because I felt isolated. They had a beautiful house, but it was in the middle of nowhere. So I didn't get cell phone reception and didn't really have anywhere to go. So when you were dealing with them, what kind of things did you do for them? Hi, guys.
Well, it's kind of hard because you're supposed to be very professional in that setting.
Right.
But when someone brings you into their home and you're there, a lot of times, sometimes I was there like early in the morning all the way to night. I was seeing them every stage throughout the day. So it's kind of a very like private, it's almost like you are in like a reality TV show and stuff. You're
Yeah.
exposing everything. So, you
True.
know, sometimes the families struggle to keep the house clean 'cause it's just like so overwhelming, or the kids having a meltdown is destroying things. I think most the parents, you know, they once I came into the home, they were able to kind of have some time for themselves. Because a lot of the parents, because what people don't know is that there's not a lot of help for people.
Or
They
if
just
there
can't.
is, it's expensive
Well,
too.
no, they just can't hire just a random high schooler or somebody to babysit their kids.
Right.
They need someone who's experienced. But once I come in there, you know, I can, you know, help assist and that kind of stuff. But the people that really did struggle, that are kind of that a lot of people forget about, are the siblings.
Oh.
The siblings had a very hard time because a lot of these children also had medical issues.
There's something called the glass child. Have you ever heard of the glass child?
No.
It's almost like that child is kind of like being seen through to look at the other siblings. So they get lost, they get forgotten about because one child needs so much more attention that they feel like they're being looked through or around.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Or
Good.
they're also changing the roles where they have to be the caregiver for their sibling. They're
True.
like, oh, you are going to take over. You have to be hands-on because when dad and I or mom and I get older, or we're not here anymore, you're going to have to take over.
And putting pressure on them too.
And that puts a lot.
Like when you're an adult, you might have to keep them forever.
Mhm.
We got lots of people joining us. We got Travis and Loretta and user. Got lots of people. Good to have you guys here, Irving. So feel free to let me know what you guys would like to talk
But I
about.
also think mental health has changed a lot in the work, like in the health field.
True.
Because just a few years back before COVID happened, there was I did see a lot of patients that struggled with their mental health, had multiple diagnoses.
Was it more like depression or anxiety?
No.
Hi, Tammy.
More, a lot of PTSD. A lot of PTSD.
Right. There were a lot of deaths during that time, or
no, this is before COVID.
Oh, before COVID.
And a lot of this has to I did work with some veterans and stuff like that. But PTSD was something new for me in a way. I was married to a veteran, so I know the PTSD on that side.
Okay.
But I didn't know PTSD very well from the civilian side. Mostly like PTSD, I would think would be like someone who
Let's get like
experienced like a very traumatic event, like
probably like an explosion or
like a massive explosion. Yeah. Seeing
actual
some
warfare.
Not just on the civilian side. I'm saying
on
like,
the civilian side.
Like witnessing a terrible crime.
Plus even the loneliness though, but that's not really the PTSD. That'd be
yeah. So it wasn't. I didn't quite understand PTSD until I myself was diagnosed with PTSD.
Was your CPTSD with prolonged stuff, or was it one in particular incident?
I don't know if mine is chronic enough because my situations only happened within the past 6 months.
Okay.
So during that time, there was like a 3 months of just trauma. And it wasn't until because I was thinking like, oh, they're kind of over, they're diagnosing people with PTSD who don't really have PTSD. Because to me, my understanding was like they had a normal life, like these people, they haven't experienced death or severe injury or something like that. So
Sorry, I'm going to read.
So I had a kind of a hard time understanding it until
So you
I found
experienced it.
out, like, I'm like, oh, okay, now I kind of have a better understanding.
Tammy says, "Ugh, totally my life." Oh my goodness, that's not good. So yeah, it can be pretty difficult. So Tammy, thank you for sharing that. Is there anything that you found that kind of helps or things that you struggle with? Orny is here and we got Speedy saying, "I must be a billionaire in a submarine because I made your heart implode." Is it me or Mallory? Or both of us? Thank you, Speedy. Speedy. Thank you. I got some followers. I appreciate that. Go ahead and show me some love. Keep this going. It says to encourage my viewers to share the live and invite people. We're trying to do more and more live chats for you
I guess
guys.
I can also have, because I had a conversation with a veteran
Mhm.
recently who also was diagnosed with PTSD. They've gone to multiple deployments outside the wire, which is off and out for long periods of
Like
time.
off the grid, or what does outside the wire mean?
Yeah, so off base. So when you're across the walls and stuff like that.
In the real world.
Yeah.
That alone, that alone will cause
so
PTSD.
he's seen multiple wars and
Well, I met one guy. He was a civilian worker. I can't remember. He went to like Iraq or Afghanistan, but he was making some bank. It was a 6-month rotation, and he signed up for it 3 times, and he was to rebuild all the devastation. But he literally was like so jumpy, and it was terrible. And I was talking to him and he's like, yeah, I'm going back because you can make like $120,000 in 6 months. And I'm like, dude, he was telling me how many times he got, like we got to watch what we say, but but
I think that is what.
Let me see what Tammy says.
What's
Tammy
helpful?
says, my oldest and youngest have multiple diagnoses. My middle has PTSD, so many needs, and it's just me, just exhausting. My own CPTSD gets triggered often. Yeah, it's almost like a mirror staring back at you. Yeah, because you want to do the best for your child, but it's also like, I need to cope too.
And it's hard because you know what they're going through, but then you also have to deal. It's so hard being a parent and struggling with your mental health.
Yeah, because you have to be extra patient, extra understanding. Like, I just need somebody to be understanding
so
to
it's
me.
like kind of like my daughter and stuff. She has ADHD.
What? I would not have.
I have ADHD. And so when she's doing things,
she's wonderful, but it's almost like we just know.
Like she's having these meltdowns and you understand it, but then as a parent, you're just kind of like, okay, this isn't, like you know too much and you're like, okay, I know this isn't behavior thing, it's just your ADHD,
And Mandy is here. Mandy, you've gone through some stuff. Mandy can relate to a lot of crap. So Mandy, I hope you're doing good too. Tammy just shared some stuff about, the struggles of taking care of someone who has mental illness and the strain it puts on you, especially if you have things going on with you. But you guys are survivors and we'll help you through, the challenging times. There is a way to rewire your brain. Having faith, whether it's religion or just faith in the process, can really help. I know what we focus on is kind of what we create, and I've like done little experiments, and it is so true.
Oh yeah, like that talking in the water. Like people are doing the talk in the water. I just saw a video.
What is that?
Like,
do you have to jump in right now?
Like if people like you manifest. So when you're drinking water and stuff, like you talk into the water and stuff to make yourself feel better and stuff. It's kind of like that rice experiment that you're doing, and that kind of reminds me of that.
We gotta. All right, I will do the rice experiment again and do it. My neighbors will do it on live, like, you stupid rice.
Oh my gosh!
But the water experiment, what that is you basically take a glass of water and like you talk to it like you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you can get that new job and you're gonna get your husband and everything's gonna work out, and then you drink it and it's almost like you absorb that energy. But what I think it is, and I mean to interrupt, is kind of like a placebo almost. I don't think something magical happens in that water, but it's magical that you're expressing it and taking it in, because they had that old Chinese proverb where it's your thoughts become, what is it? Your thoughts become your actions become your destiny. Your words Okay, your thoughts become your words become your actions become your destiny. And so your words become your actions. So once you speak it into existence, and we got Randy. Randy's been nice and loyal to me. Go ahead and hit that like button. And we got YouTubers. Feel free to join the chat. Let me make sure that's opened up for you guys. Um, because our purpose is to just kind of, have like a little chit chat where you guys can open up and discuss anything you guys want to discuss, or just have something to do, to talk to. When you were in your relationship, did you get isolated? You were pretty isolated, weren't you? Or not so much? Was it more situational because he had to go to work, or did he cause an isolation? You moved away too.
Yeah, we moved a lot. In our 15 years together, we had moved, let's see.
And look at my TikTokers getting in trouble. They're filtering out some of your comments.
1, 2, 3,
4,
4,
Five.
5, maybe 5 times.
Oh.
But in between those 5 moves, I moved back home.
Oh, okay.
And we lived a lot up north, where there wasn't a lot of neighbors or anything like that. A lot of people my age.
Do you find it helpful, like when you're having a hard time, to call like a tall blonde or a friend? Does it help speaking it, or are you better processing things quietly by yourself?
Not really. I can't. I think that's what's kind of made it a little bit more difficult now, is because I have more time by myself.
Okay.
Before that, I was just nonstop. I never got a break. It was like work, being a mom, being a wife.
Right.
I took care of like pretty much everything.
And that's why
even with like scheduling appointments for him and the kids, making sure his uniform, his clothes,
it's
everything.
a distraction.
Yeah.
And that's where like obsessions, like if you start out just exercising, you want to be a runner for a little bit, maybe a mile or 2 a day, but then people turn it into like 20, 30 miles a day, and just excessive. Thank you guys for that, love. Or just whatever it is. I know some people become workaholics. That's one thing I've really had to like tone it down, because I was working nonstop, and it's like a trauma response. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's so admirable. And it's like, I don't have a life. Or
it was nice when I did get a break for like a few months and stuff like that. It was fine for me. And it really worked out, because I had just crashed. So I pretty much just like shut down, and I would just crash. And I really enjoyed it. It was really nice and stuff.
The crash?
Yeah.
I loved it. My life fell apart.
I didn't have a break. There was one time when we were separated. I was working with 3 or 4 families. My daughter was a few months old. She was 3 months old when we separated, for a year and a half. So for that whole year and a half, I had 3 or 4 families I was working with. I also had a cashier job at night. I was going to school full time. I was doing my externship, which was 40 hours a week too.
Right.
You do the math, it doesn't math.
Right.
But it did math, And then I would have to be a mom as well.
Right.
And
your daughter kind of dictates that schedule, and she's just going to wake up.
When you're separated, in Michigan, you can't get child support. And my ex wasn't working. He had like a breakdown, and he just quit his job, and he wasn't working. So he kind of gave me money maybe the first month, but that whole year and a half,
I didn't
he got rid of
that.
his insurance. My job didn't provide any insurance. So when my daughter was like 6, 7 months old, she got really, really sick, and I had to take her, and I had to, she had to get aggressive antibiotic therapy, and I would have to pay a few $100s for each visit and stuff. And he did come for those 3 visits. The first one, I informed him, and then he came for the second, and then the third. But he didn't help financially or anything like that.
So when you were doing the caring, When did it become too much? Because sometimes it is a trauma response to keep busy, and then also sometimes life forces you to do that. But what caused it to have you like crash? Was it something emotional, or was it too much downtime? They're like, oh, she doesn't have to come for another 2 months to her appointments, and so you had free time. Because sometimes we get lost in our thoughts, and our thoughts, if we don't take control of them, they can cause us to go down a spiral and get real depressed. What were your thoughts like in your head at that time? Did you feel overwhelmed?
No, I wasn't. I
Okay.
wasn't, because I had the support of my family, because I was living with my mom and my dad and my sister. And that's where I grew up. That's where all my friends were. So I had a really big support group. The my classmates were amazing.
That helps.
And that's what kind of changed my mindset a little bit, because I was always kind of like talked down to. Oh, why would I thank you for that? Everyone would do that.
Oh.
Like, that's not a big deal. Any thoughts I had was like, well, that's a ridiculous thought. You can't have any information on this type of thing, because you don't have any training in it. Like, if I said something like, oh, I think it might, like a car topic or whatever, and I was like, oh, I think this is what's going on with the vehicle, I might have to do blah blah blah. And
now, was that a narcissist? It sounds.
He would be like, that's so stupid. Why would it be that? Don't act like you know. Let me handle it, okay? Because you don't know anything. Even though half of my family are engineers.
Right.
I was in the medical field, so the mechanical, like the body system, is not that much different from like plumbing and cars and stuff like that. They kind of still have, they'll have a mechanism, and
right, like
mechanical.
Like
system.
A rhyme and reason to it.
So one is not alive and the other one is alive, but you can kind of pinpoint your experience and kind of get some. You might not know everything, but
so let me ask you this: when you went through that, did you stand up for yourself, or over time did you start not sharing as much? Did you dumb yourself down in a sense where it's like, I'm not going to share that because
I just let it be. Like, I was like, if he wants to be a part of us, he'll be a part of us. I gave him multiple chances. I probably saw his daughter maybe 5 times during the whole time.
What was your intention behind giving him so many chances? Do you think it had anything to do with, were you able to set boundaries good, or did you struggle with that?
And
guys, like I said, feel free to open up the conversation
with that. Because I really wasn't focused on him. I was focused on our daughter, because I couldn't really, I tried to be there, but you can't lead a horse to water and make him drink and stuff.
Hey, Mark. So. We got lots of people joining. We got Eddie and oh my gosh.
But no, I think that made it actually worse, though.
You think so?
With our relationship, because I was getting more confident. People were telling me how smart I was, not just like men and stuff in general, but like my professors, my classmates.
Sometimes it kicks in a fear of abandonment. Like, the more you can make, the more that you're not going to be dependent on someone. And it's a lot of men actually don't like the woman making more. And it's kind of like weird, because you're like, but babe, I'll share this with you. It's a bonus for both of us. But it intimidates them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want to be the hero. So it's like a masculine thing. They want to be the hero, but I feel like, oh, I'll just pay for it. It changes things. Like, we're in a different era now. Like, generation before me, it's pretty much you needed a man to help you. So they always got to be heroes. And we got
bring them on camera.
Oh, I don't think they want to be brought on camera. We could though. But you guys are so quiet. Tell me how your day was. Where's everybody from? And like I said, we can just open up whatever you guys want to talk about. I picked, which mental illnesses are the most struggling. I would think that schizophrenia would be absolutely terrifying. And hey, Phil, hello, good to have you here. Bonjour.
But I also think it's the other thing is struggling with, because I have some family members with schizophrenia.
Oh, you do?
Or some, like, I have some family members who married into our family,
Okay.
where there was an individual, because I don't want to like name too much, so you can kind of see
Right.
who it was. But her a family member's that married into our family sister was schizophrenic, and she wasn't what people expect schizophrenia to be.
And Run says schizophrenic is different than what people think. It probably is. I
think it's different with like males and females as well, because she wasn't
Tell me what you
aggressive.
think, Run, right? Yeah, Run. Tell me what your perception is. Why you think people get it wrong? Any clarification? I don't know if you struggle with it or if you know people. I had a neighbor, and you could see her affect completely change. Did you see any onsets happening, or were they managed?
No, she was very, very quiet, very polite, just really sweet. It was just that when she wasn't on her medication, she would get very manic.
Okay.
And she would, meet somebody, and then she'd like run off with them, and
Oh yeah, kind of that impulsivity and
get involved with like religious things, like it really.
They can be susceptible,
very
hyper focused
on certain topics and stuff like that.
And Run says, ouch, my foot just popped. Run says, narcissistic evil people tried to label me schizophrenic. I'm not at all. I've been tested for narcissistic disorder and schizophrenic. Were there certain things that caused them to do that? Did you just have a different way? Sometimes if somebody is like autistic, they might have a different response, to where people don't understand it. So they might try to label it. Did you freak out on certain things? Because you're a believer in God is why. Okay.
But I think it's also hard too, because I knew someone with schizophrenia in his early 20s, around the same age I was when I met him. And he really struggled. Not externally, internally. He had to keep a lot of the stuff. He knew when he was having hallucinations.
Right.
He would get audio and visually.
Oh yeah, you can have one or both. Hi, Virago is joining us.
It was hard because he knew that they seemed so real, but he knew that they weren't real, and he just kind of had to go along masking it like nothing was going on. He had a few friends that he would open up to, and what he had to say was pretty intense.
I know.
But you wouldn't. But if other people, they wouldn't have known, and it's just so hard. It was hard for him because he was afraid to really open up to people because there's such a stigma against the disorder.
True.
When really, it's kind of like how all disorders are. Just because one person is aggressive doesn't mean that they're all aggressive.
True. Each and every one's different. Now, Run was saying that he's a believer in God. Say if you're female or male, or how you want to be addressed. But Run was considered gifted. And I'd like to know more about how they tested you for telepathy, where you can kind of just think and get answer type stuff, like telepathy.
I know they say that there's a fine line between intelligence and insanity in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes
just because you're just different. Because even back in the day, like in my mom's times and stuff, if you were different, like JFK's sister.
Okay.
They labeled her as what? Like they labeled her as schizophrenic?
I think it was schizophrenic. Yeah, they were terrible to her.
But everyone was labeled, back then everyone was labeled schizophrenic.
Especially
if you
females.
had autism, you're schizophrenic. Women that weren't
they did like a lobotomy on her, didn't they?
Yeah. But the only reason why they did not like her in the family is because she was very I would say she's probably more like ADHD, you know, kind of like how
Oh.
Aislinn was, like very
Lots of thoughts
bubbly,
and
always had a talk. You know, if they were a little promiscuous, then that is wrong.
so they do flashcards, okay? And when you see the world not how they program it, you're a threat to the lies they spin. What? Our government's so truthful. What are you talking about? And that's the thing too. Like I see all these like conspiracy theories. Some of them are probably true. And you know, sometimes people have this like gut instinct or like a sixth sense, and it's to shut you down. There was one guy I was watching where he was saying that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and through God, he feels that he was cured, and he thinks it's something demonic. I don't know what you guys feel. I have always like questioned that. You know,
Or like back in the day, you were a witch and stuff like that. Like just because you have a sensitivity, now we kind of know like empaths and stuff like that.
and when I say something demonic, like I know some of my viewers might join in and they might have that. So I'm not saying that the person is a bad person. There are certain, you know, brain things. Stress will push you over a certain limit and you can't really get back. But is it like a threshold where these demons take advantage of our stressors? Where, you know, anxiety, depression, are we inviting in the negativity, which to me is like when I mean demonic, is it's things like that, you know, the demon of anxiety, the demon of depression, the demon of procrastination. So, you know, you say your alter ego is a liar. It's wacko, exactly what it is. All the great inventors were labeled crazy. Now, when you say your alter ego is a liar, do you struggle with the truth, telling the truth?
But that can also be a sign of like masking. But like the whole inventors about being crazy. I can't remember his name, but the guy who invented the doctor who invented hand washing, who came across germs, and
Jonas Salk, or
he had noticed a big increase in deaths of newborns or mothers who have just given birth, because back in the day, doctors would dissect bodies and stuff like that in the morgue, and then in the afternoons and stuff like that, that's during the day and night and stuff, they would start they would help deliver babies. Well, the germs and the chemicals they used to embalm were on their hands, and you know, the decomposing parts and stuff like that were on their hands. And they've noticed that when you started washing hands, the chances of, you know, it increased the health of the newborn
because it
and
used
the
to
mother.
be 1 in 3 pregnancies births ended in a death.
Yeah, so
Let me catch up real quick.
He invented this sink mechanism kind of thing to wash your hands, and he was telling everybody there's these germs that are all over. They're in the air, they're on top of surfaces, they're in our bodies. You can't see when them. We sneeze, you know, there's germs everywhere, but they're microscopic and you can't see them. And everyone was like, okay, this guy is crazy. He's seeing things, but they're there, but they're not there.
Like it's on our skin. What are you talking about?
And he was trying to fight it. And he's like, no, this, and everyone thought he was crazy. And the doctors were like, you're making us look like idiots. And so they locked him up in an insane asylum.
Oh, wow.
To shut him up. And I guess even the guards and stuff were making fun of him. They would beat him up and stuff because it was like a horrible, horrible time. I think it was like the 18s or early 1900s.
When I was born.
And he ended up dying from the abuse he got there.
Right. And that's what's so sad, though. There are fascinating people out there with these like fantastic ideas.
But then, I think it was like 10 or 20 years later, people were like, oops. Oh, let's go wash our hands. That is a thing. And it's just like this guy was like tortured for like decades.
Wow. Let me catch
up.
No
one would believe him.
So let me catch up real quick. So Phil was just joking. Okay. I'm glad you don't have an alter ego as a liar. TikTok, feel free to open up the discussion. YouTube, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Run says you could take down a whole market with a proper idea. That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
And Virago is laughing at Phil, likes it. Run says rich don't want to go broke. They have power, and that's just a fact. That's true. They want that power struggle. People don't want to give up on things. So if they're making money, doesn't matter if it's ethical or legitimate. Virago says Mallory is so right. Good girl. I heard about that doctor too.
I'm always really bad with names,
You
but
can
I
tell
can't
we're
remember like
teachers.
which
High five.
But yeah, it's just it's crazy because when you have a different way of thinking, you're labeled crazy. There's something wrong with you.
And I noticed that too. And to be honest with you guys, like I want to share some stuff with you, but it's kind of like, do I share it? Because these are like deep thoughts, and if people don't agree with you, it's like you're just gonna get
Well, it's kind of
ridiculed.
similar
And
to the conversation we were having yesterday or today about being an advocate for yourself, knowing that there's something wrong and trying to seek help for it, and people are gaslighting you, saying like, oh, that's not it, it can't be that, because if it was that, it clear cut this. And my illness was the symptoms I was having were not textbook ones.
yeah,
And I was
they don't
telling
want
them, I
to.
was like, no, I want to get tested. I want to get tested. There's something wrong. And I only had a short time frame to
get it handled.
To get a handle, or I would have severe chronic pain for the rest of my life. And so many people don't know that they can, be their own advocate if someone won't stand up for them. And they can say, no, doctor, you are wrong. Just because you have the education and the title and stuff doesn't mean that you always know everything.
True.
And if you think you know everything, then you don't know anything, pretty much.
So Ron says I was called crazy for thinking different. Yeah, people see that as crazy. We're supposed to conform. We're supposed to all think the same. And Virago says societies demonize what they don't understand. That is so true. Run continues. Yep, I was gaslit so bad, but I found I'm fine. I was given something also to mess with my mind and body as well. Are you saying that your pronoun is erect? Is that masculine? Sorry. But so, what do you mean to mess with your mind? Were they trying to calm you down and quiet you, kind of zombify you? Hi, Martin. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to hit that like button and join in. Run says government knows who had gifts and who don't. It's really interesting that Catch Me If You Can movie. Have you guys seen that? Have you seen it?
I love
that movie. Who is it? Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
And
Tom Hanks, right? Tom Hanks was the detective.
Yeah,
that
I think so.
chased him down.
So, these people do these horrible things, and the government's like, oh wait, we don't have to put you in jail. We're going to use you. So, yeah, it's like if they can use you, they'll use you. If they can't, they'll.
Or if you make them look stupid, they're going to silence you.
Yeah, and that's gotta be careful what we say. Hypothetically, I learned that today. Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yeah.
What perfect timing. They'll get rid of you. Boom. See, we even have sound effects. Perfect timing. I'm going to get shut down. So how did you deal with it, Ron? You guys feel free to hit that love and like. I appreciate that. It's what, Saturday today? What are you guys doing on a Saturday evening? I know a lot of my viewers don't normally come in. We're getting ready to do the campfire in a little bit. But feel free to ask anything or tell me how things are going for you guys. There threats, all kinds of stuff. Oh, that's not good. Yeah. And it's a manipulation tactic to get you to do what they want.
When you are trying to seek help and people are not taking you seriously.
Or you don't have the money. There are people who legitimately reach out for help. I know this is not dealing with mental health, but I had a broken leg and it was workman's comp, and I had the money in my purse. I had to wait for this appointment with a broken leg, and it was like, I can't remember now, but like 3-4 weeks on a broken, like completely broken leg. And so I was in so much pain. And so they're like, well, we don't have the paperwork we need. And I'm like, I have the cash on me. I will pay for it. They're like, nope,
hate
it's
the
a workman's
workers'
comp
comp.
thing. They would not take care of me, even if I private paid.
I hate
So-
workers' comp. The paperwork, it was because I had to deal with that kind of paperwork on the medical side, and it just, you had to write things like a specific way.
Yeah, the
And
coding.
good thing that I was friends with I made some really good friends with a lot of people on the insurance side. So they would be kind of like, well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I see that it's missing this code on it. Too bad, it doesn't have this code, and send it to this area, or else
Sorry,
it would have
guys.
gone through. So that was always.
Oh, did I just ruin it?
No.
I just disconnected it. Dang it, I think. Let me see. I might have to relog in. Technical. Virago's asking if Phil is still here. He should be. Suspect is stuff is what? Suspect stuff or suspect? A lot of money. Even doctors was treating me bad. We're still live? Okay, good. Sorry, guys. I dropped the phone. You want to read this one right here, Mallory?
Which one?
Big one.
Oh, let me. This little thing. And lots of money, and even doctors were treating me bad. You get marked as a way to keep you low and not with money.
Sorry.
Mental health is a scapegoat.
Ouch.
So no one will believe you.
Man, I keep disconnecting this. Sorry, guys. I get pinched every time I try and do this. Okay. We're getting ready to do the campfire. Let me catch up on that. I don't know.
For a moment, I thought this was your daughter.
You what?
For a moment, I thought this was your daughter.
Oh no.
Do we look alike?
Do we look alike? Oh, we kind of do. We're both beautiful.
Yeah.
I was trying to get it better to where so, and we're gonna start the campfire in a minute, but lost a lot of
actually,
money. Even doctor was treating me bad. You get marked
Yeah.
as ways to keep you low and not with money. Mental health is a scapegoat, so no one will believe you. Virago says, for a moment I thought I was. Oh, this was your daughter.
Yeah.
It.
We are just friends.
We are friends. We used to be neighbors till I was the trader and moved away to the lake. But
So now I have to go and visit her at the lake.
It's I know. I'm sorry. So what do you guys think? If I get 50 likes, I'll start that fire.
And I think that is what is so hard. Like when Ron was talking about working with individuals on the spectrum, me and my other coworker, we get little notes from people that have dealt with the kids that we work with, and we both decide like we are not going to read that kind of information, because just because that child was that way with you, it's a totally different environment. It can poison the chance of that child getting better, because then you're going to be like, oh, this kid's troublemaker, this kid doesn't listen, blah blah blah. Well, kids don't have these behaviors for out of the blue, like, oh, this kid just freaks out of nowhere. No, there's always a reason why a kid reacts. You might not understand it, because it might just be bottling up inside them. And it had something that happened a week ago, and they're still trying to process it, and they're too young to quite understand what's
they
going
don't always
on.
know how to verbalize it. There's so many times kids shut down, or when I was teaching elementary, you're like, what's wrong? And they're like, I don't even know. And I'm like, are you sad? I don't know. And they don't even know what to label it. So how are they going to describe it? So Ron, what do you mean I'm the alien? You just spell it different? It still means the same thing. The alien message retracted. Oh, keeping secrets from me.
Ooh, I might know
secrets. I know. Usually you gotta watch it. Sometimes I'm pretty good at reading it. Alien. He knows I'm a teacher correcting it. Virago boy.
That's what autocorrect. Because if I make a mistake, I'm like, oops, sorry, autocorrect.
Womb wounds. We started talking about womb wounds. That's hard to say, but there is some intrauterine trauma that can happen. I was talking about that last night. How I was supposed to be a twin, and my twin passed away, and I didn't move at all. Was I a still not moving baby because not stillborn, but still because of the trauma? Could that possibly be? All my mom's other kids moved around.
I had a girlfriend who was a twin, and her and her twin were born. She had a brother, a twin brother, who I don't know if he was stillborn or if he died shortly after birth.
Hi, Nancy.
But it was due to the fact that she took all the nutrients
Could be
in the womb and stuff. But the funny thing is that she never felt like she was missing a piece of her. Because I know
well, Elvis Presley, he thought he was missing something. His twin passed away.
Or even those twins that get separated at birth and they just feel like they're missing something.
And this is what I like, because I do these chats so you guys can also interact with each other. But here we got Virago Boy and Run kind of going back and forth with each other. But I need some more love before I start that campfire. I had to chop down a good portion of my tree to get this wood.
Oh, a lot. Like what, half of it?
They threw out so much. That rack.
She has this beautiful tree, and the insurance company wants her to cut half of it.
Yeah,
it's like so sad.
How old would you think? 200 years? How old do you think that tree is? 200 years. I think it's 200.
I don't know, because I don't know what a.
It's at least 100 years old.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd push 200, maybe 150 at the most.
Right, maybe 150. Mallory always has to be right. Run says I'm native and O blood type. A lot of you guys check.
Okay, so Run, I have a question. Are you O negative or O positive? Because my dad was O positive.
Or is it O on your driver's license and that means operator license? A lot of people think that.
Because I just want to know, because my dad, he never got bit by mosquitoes.
Oh, positive.
So just like him. So mosquitoes, like he could go into a fog of mosquitoes and you would see this like little like aura around him. So the mosquitoes won't even go like anywhere near him.
Oh.
But with us, my mom and everyone else are A positive and they would just eat us alive.
I did hear, I couldn't remember if it was B. Is it supposed to be you detached from your twin? Did you really have one? You saw, I think I saw something. Your grandpa was a twin. Run's grandpa, Virago. Save the trees. I did save it. I legally had to draw
mosquitoes don't care for much. I think we got something here.
And so when you say you're native, is that Native American? What do you think? Are you Native American?
See, so I do got something that's going on with that. And do you get sick a lot? Because my dad didn't get sick a lot, even though he had a blood disorder.
Native and black. I bet that's a good combination. I bet you tan.
I can.
Nice dark skin.
I can have a tan. I'm the inability.
I don't get sick hardly at all. I wonder if that's part of the Native American, maybe even black. I think blacks have a harder time with health, but that could be diet or lack of resources.
I don't think it's like lack of resources. I think
Hi, Eddie. More Jim's here.
That they know how to.
Good to have you here, Nancy.
They know how to treat things more naturally.
Oh, true. Ron says my grandpa looks like a red man. Do you have any cool names? I love the Native American names. Oh, can you guys give us a nickname?
Joke where this one man, he's making fun of like white chicks, and the white chick is like, "Oh my God, you're Native American? Can you give me a native name?" And he gives her like this name, and it means like white woman. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, what does that mean?" And he was kind of like, strong woman who doesn't take no for an answer.
Oh,
like kind of like a nice
the stereotype
kind of description for like a Karen or something like that, or right. It was really funny. My grandma, everyone always has that story. I don't know if you have a family member like that. My dad's mom always said that she was Native American, and she came from the tribe that have red hair, and.
Interesting. I don't know about that tribe.
But she also said that she's like, it's amazing. I'm like, she was saying this all up until she was like 98 years old. She's like, it's crazy. Like in her 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. She's like, I haven't gone gray. Just my roots are gray. But
Just my roots.
we kind of laugh. We're like, oh,
that's cute. Run says I have an Irish last name. I come from Southern blood, Native Americans. That's cool. Virago says, do you know King Tupac? Run. Run DMC?
He's still alive out there.
Oh, not the. Is there a King Tupac? That's not a rapper.
That would make sense.
I live in the PNW, post-Native War. I don't know what PNW is. Primal need. I don't know what PNW stands for. And you guys are just watching so patiently. Feel free to open it up and share how your day went, where you guys are from, what you would like to talk about. And I need some more love. Pacific Northwest. Okay. Yeah,
Well, there's all these abbreviations now. It's so hard.
I know. It's like, what do you call the lingo? The OMG and the LOL, and I can't remember the right. It's not an acronym. I don't know what it's called. But I was like, is that what it is? Say how to the natives.
Oh, look at that little banter.
How. I know you guys are cute. And we got Eddie joining in, and Jim and Jimmy and Jim James. Abbreviations. Well, no, an abbreviation is a shortened form of the word.
It is an abbreviation,
So-
but it's type of link. We just
TTYL.
dude,
You
we
leaving
just
us?
had this conversation before, though.
Yeah, we went over this. But I got the
Oh, my
brain
goodness.
fog. Invitation to go live together. I don't know how that works. Somebody's going to tell me. You can type it. And I don't mind doing that, but I don't know if I'm going on your screen, you're going on my screen. I don't know how to hang it up. I had 3 Spanish, and I love my Spanish speakers, but I didn't know.
I love that music.
Is that a music group?
Yeah,
Oh,
LMFAO. It's a nephew and an uncle.
really? Okay. Is it country?
No,
I
they're
know.
like oh shoot,
Alternative rappers,
I don't even know what they would be.
rockabilly.
What is LMFAO? What's
Laughing
their
my
genre?
dang-
I can't even put a. I can't even. They have like their own kind of genre.
Virago says, I feel like I'm one of the girls because you're hanging out with us. EDM. I
Are
like
you
EDM
gonna
music.
change your name now to girl?
Virago girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love dance music, EDM.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that kind of makes sense.
Do you
Yeah.
want us to sing for you? But I've been doing some research on some of the stars that are struggling with mental illness. I've been, you guys kind of reacted.
I think it has to do with they have this persona. Like I was just listening to this podcast with AJ McLean.
Mhm.
He's one of the singers from the Backstreet Boys. And now his real name is Alexander James.
Oh,
And
fireworks.
he
might see
changed
fireworks.
his name to AJ because of his signature. It was just too long. His mom was like, this is too long. You got to shorten it up. So he went with AJ.
Okay.
And so then AJ was his like persona, his stage present and stuff. And he didn't know how to turn it off. So eventually it took, and it kind of,
That's kind of like the method acting.
it's hard to pull out of it. And he would get angry at his bandmates who would be like, okay, I'm checking out. I'm going home now. And they're like, how can you just check out? Like, that is so like, then he realized, oh, you need to be able to separate yourself from stage and home life. Because when he was off the stage, he was still AJ.
And I'm glad you brought that up, though, because, when we talk, do I stay with my narcissist? Do I leave them? That it kind of infiltrates you.
The boys started
I
knowing
know.
me.
So, we have to be careful with the people that we're around or the things that we do. If you're like, well, I can just do this, it's not necessarily my morals or my ethics, that sometimes it infiltrates who you are. They do that with the method acting. These people like, is it Jack Nichols? Jack?
Who else? Johnny Depp has that issue.
Where they go crazy
Heath Ledger,
sometimes.
he
Heath
had
Ledger.
a hard time.
Because you absorb it and you start changing your lifestyle. Like there was one just I can't remember, I just read it, but he stayed in character, and he was like scaring the other actresses because he was like so abusive. And they're like, nope, he can do it because he's staying in character. It's part of, the way he's acting. Thank you. Woo, it's cold. But you start absorbing it, and then it's also damaging your relationships with people, because if you're a method actor, you're going to do it in your household,
Or you have
and
the
it
people
becomes a
that constantly
habit.
say yes. Like you also have to have a nice balance of people around you. You can't just because someone makes you feel good, it makes you feel happy because they're always saying yes and letting you do whatever you want. You need a lot of those people in your life. There's like, hey, I love you, but you need to quit it.
Yeah. And Ron says, I met some crazy famous actors. One was doing method acting for a
well-known movie.
Oh. Yeah, the method acting. Run says most actors are crazy. They lie to your vision and mind to create their craft. They have an image to uphold, so they're going to be a certain way. They also keep a lot of things private. They might not let you know that they're dating. They have the NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. So if they want somebody to be like a sex symbol, they're not going to let on, so all these people are going to fall in love.
More healthier now than they were back in the day, where they had to, I know, like, what's her name?
We're getting some love. You guys are ready
Judy
for that
Garland
campfire
and stuff like that. Like she had to be placed with people. There's actors who were gay, and they would have them
10 more hearts.
They would have them marry their like co-star and stuff like that to hide it.
Six more hearts, and we'll get the fire going.
Ooh,
all right.
We need just 6.
We need 6 more hearts or likes. Come on, guys.
Do they know what we're burning?
Well, no, that they have to meet a challenge. If you want me to burn a bra, not the one I'm wearing. Join my team. Sent heart. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You got the first, the number 1 gifter. Oh, and you sent a gift. We're getting ready to burn this bra. I got a couple, so we can do up to 5 bras. And thank you. All right, I think you guys want this fire. So, Mallory, you get to keep reading for me while I get this set up.
Oh, so you met the blonde girl and the redhead in the movie.
You gotta talk about what?
He also met the blonde girl and the redhead in the movie. Now I need to know what kind of movie this is.
Is this
It sounds kind of like a bar joke. Oh my gosh,
like
I almost got eaten.
Hopefully this fire will. No, let me
look what's coming up.
Let me run in and get the lighter.
I just don't want to say it because I can't say it. I don't want to put it into the atmosphere.
Yeah. There's something to that. We will talk about that when I get back. Let me go grab that real quick.
Don't bring me into this.
That's true. I got a special invitation from them.
I didn't. I never got an invitation. No one wants me. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so bad by myself. Give me a topic. Zombieland 2. Oh, is that the movie? See, the thing about me is I hate zombies. I hate zombies because medically it could happen, especially with, the C word that happened recently. And I'm terrified of zombies. So I try to stay away. I can watch like vampires. I can watch, crime documentaries, stuff like that. But zombies, I cannot do. They freak me out. I know I could outrun them, but I can't do that.
You can outrun Ron?
The Zombieland too.
My first crush.
Oh, really?
Hit that like button if you like Sean Cassidy.
Who's Sean Cassidy?
From the Hardy Brother or Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys? What's that?
That was back in 1978. He had the do run, the do run.
Oh, okay.
Sean Cassidy. He's a cutie. All right, guys. Here we go. This burn victim's about to...
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is like you're getting...
This is trauma for me.
Well, sometimes they say to get over fear is to...
Yeah, to burn yourself again. To scream loudly.
I think you like the fire, though. Because you always
like...
involve fire.
I know. There we go. Got the campfire going for you guys. Thank you. Hit that like button because it scares the heck out of me.
It looks so much smaller on screen.
Nice and warm. Let me get my jacket.
And that will help. You know what we should do? Put like some like
Oh, I should
sage and stuff in there, and
do a little
to like
cleansing.
Well, also just to get the mosquitoes away.
That's true.
Oh, that's a cute little jacket. Look at that
Thank
cute
you.
little jacket.
I got some cute stuff. I don't usually wear cute stuff, but I don't have my.
That wouldn't fit like half of me.
She took my seat.
I'm sorry.
All right, there we go.
For a minute. Pull my shirt down.
We're best friends.
It's not that kind of show. Okay, it's not that kind of show.
I'll be appropriate. I look so rough. My hair gets fluffier as the night goes by. So, I have a feeling Mallory kept you up to date, but that's the only one zombie movie you like. Do you guys like zombie movies? And let me send Team Bracelet. You guys are awesome.
Because I was saying that I don't like zombies, just in case
you,
there's a
Country
zombie
Night.
outbreak.
You guys are so sweet. I appreciate that.
I wouldn't fight. I just wouldn't fight.
Kate is
I know
here.
that it wouldn't work. Eventually, they'll take over. So what's the point of fighting?
It's a comedy zombie movie, story of my life.
No,
we're gonna switch sides so I can read a little better.
That's the funny thing, though. You know, like that movie Shaun of the Dead. That's supposed to be comical. Nope. I was balled up in the corner of the couch, just crying my eyes out because I felt so bad. And my boyfriend at the time was like, "Why are you crying?" He's, even though his friend's a zombie, they still are friends. And I'm like,
see if you can move over just a little for the fire.
This one, yeah.
I don't know.
So the Shaun of the Dead, I cried. I was hysterical. It was a very sad movie.
Aw. All right, let me get TikTok. TikTok wants to see the fire. TikTok was great at donating a bunch of stuff. You guys donate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that towards a cooking show so I can cook for Mallory because she's been so
what are we
fantastic.
cooking?
And I'll let you guys help decide.
You're just cutting me out of everything.
I know. That was supposed to make it better. All right, you're going to scooch real close to me. Scooch close. There we go.
Now you guys scooch in.
I can't see the fire. We're going to stand up. Stand up behind.
Just like this.
There we go. We'll stand up.
Stand?
Okay. Does that work? No, it doesn't work. We're not going to like standing.
We're just learning new things.
We're going to hate it. We're trying so hard for you guys.
Ooh, look how skinny I look if I do it like this.
Yeah. If I go way over here, look how thin I look way over here.
But like the whole backing, like it's like a green screen for me.
There
so
you
then
go.
it kind of like makes me look.
So this is our campfire. I got to figure out how to face it.
I think what the thing is you kind of have to have
Here, let's move this for a sec. We'll move this. This kind of blocks it. Oops. Here's your phone.
Oh, my phone.
I'm not going to make her stand this whole time, but you guys are showing lots of love. And you guys are liking check it out. Thank you, Country Night. That's what we have here. We have a.
This way.
We're going to do
I wish I had
little
that.
dance.
I wish I could do that.
Did you ever do that? Do that dance move. Go ahead and show them.
What dance move? This dance move? I never did that dance move.
I think we're going to need our bench. This isn't working.
Yeah, it's not working.
It's not working. How do we do this, guys?
Angle.
I can't get too close to the fire. Oh, you are showing so much love. I love that. Oh, it's starting to die down.
Oh,
I can't see. All right, we're gonna let's bring it back. You guys, we're the main event, not the fire. I wish you guys could smell it. It smells like a campfire.
It smells nice. It doesn't smell like a campfire. I think it smells really good.
If you show lots of love, we'll show you the fire again. Take a seat, ladies. You people, your people need, yes. Thank you. We're trying. I tried to set all this stuff up, but
we'll find a way.
Yeah.
Just need a bigger
and you guys sent a rose. You guys are so sweet with the donations. You guys are making me feel really loved. I appreciate that. And that's, I am here for you guys. What's the deal with the light on Facebook or TikTok?
This one?
You can't see us. It's too close to.
Is that that's how people see us? It almost looks like we're that, what is that thing where they kind of like, you can sense like the hot and cold temperatures and stuff?
All right, let's see if this is good enough. All right, is that better, guys?
I don't think so much for TikTok.
Or maybe I'll leave this on and turn that off. Ay, ay, ay. This is hard, guys. Let's try this.
The red light. Oh, maybe that is it. Maybe it's just the red light that's giving it a weird look. Ooh, now I look like I'm on fire. I wish people were on TikTok. They could see how
is it adjusting?
my hair looks so red.
All right, we're trying. Let us. This helps me learn, so bear with me. Let's see if that's gonna help. That's gonna make it worse.
Yeah, infrared. Thank you.
So what if I turn this one off now?
Figure out names.
Turn this one off now.
I guess so. I don't know.
We're trying.
I don't know.
Let's see. Take a second to adjust. There we go. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. It's the weirdest light.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the phone. I don't know. It's really weird.
No, because it's usually the best one. I usually like the best on TikTok. All right. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's so funny. Just lighting really makes a huge difference because Courtney is here. Hi, Courtney. You should be at the lake. Courtney will be here. No, this is my friend Courtney.
What you mean my friend Courtney?
Our friend Courtney.
Our friend. Yes.
Courtney, you better get your butt over here on Monday. Bring your bathing suit. And thank you for the love. I need to get a better stand for Facebook because it does. Oh, jeez.
Whoopsies.
So many technical difficulties today.
And you must have pulled something out of the YouTube.
Oh, did I disconnect it? Oh, I know what I did. I dropped 2 cameras at once.
Ah, there we go.
And I'm breaking this one. This one's not going to last much longer. I have a Logitech camera and I'll just unplug it. There we go. Nope, low battery. Dang it. I have to keep it plugged in. How you doing, Courtney? Give me a second, guys. I'll get this back up. I'm glad you're here. So somebody's at least sitting in front of the camera.
I know. I'm so bad when it's just by myself.
And because
the voice says, "You dropped me," in crying face.
I'm sorry. I'll be more gentle with you guys. Do I still get love? Or did I ruin it? But Country Night, thank you. We got lots of people joining us right now. There we go.
Here.
And see how it freezes?
Loading.
I dropped you. Oh, no. Dang it. Okay, cool. Gosh, this is difficult. So I see a lot of different creators doing stuff on their lives. I was thinking about doing a painting thing where you guys can watch me paint.
Do you know what?
And you can paint with me. What?
Where this one lady, she paints to music. She paints how she sees or feels the music. And there's this new thing now where people are doing at weddings where each guest puts a little like
stroke or
something in it in the painting, and then you can display it in your home.
Oh, that's
and it
neat.
had one of the I'm horrible at what kind of materials they use, but it was like that overlay where it was very like a pasty paint, and then it would like it show,
you could build upon it.
And it would build layers and stuff on it. It was really cool.
So I want to do some creative things for you guys too. But Virago says, yeah, I love art. I can draw it too.
Me too. I love art. And I had this one teacher in middle school who I come from a very artistic family on both sides. And I won a lot of awards for my drawings and art and whatnot. And in middle school, I had this one teacher. She did not like my artistic views because I wouldn't do
were they too abstract?
No, we had to draw like a face, whatever, and I always loved to draw my eyes big, and she would always bring up these other kids. They'd be like, their artwork really wasn't that good,
but they were proportional.
I don't know about that. But she was like, look at this, and then she would always use my drawings as what not to do. And this is not horrible. And I was just like really, really struggling. And then I vowed not to take any art classes, do any art ever again until my senior year. And I fell in love with clay and all that stuff.
Yeah, well,
I was so upset. I was so upset that I let this woman.
Yeah, it can shatter your dreams and make you too self-conscious. Ron says, I went for graphic design. I didn't finish. I realized why I am going into debt for art. Yeah. And Virago says, I believe I was the best in school drawing. Aw. Well, hopefully you can still do it to enjoy it. I know my sister she's a child book illustrator, and she's also been an author too, but she's super talented. She really didn't start doing art until high school. And then like she can make realistic looking people, like a wine glass. It just like it looks like glass and the depth, and it's fascinating. I was the art teacher though, but
Oh, teaching art would be so much fun.
it's hard with elementary school kids though.
No. My
No,
elementary
no.
my elementary school, the art that I made during that time is amazing. Like we had it was like really deep, but it was amazing. And we had an art teacher that we weren't really crazy about. And so one time I just kept the students back and we did art, and it was pretty awesome.
Gosh, that glare is terrible though.
I think it's just because it's the red light. I think it's the red light.
Can't win. Lighting is the hardest thing. I know my grandpa won an award for film. He's a film producer, and lighting is really hard. That's why, like, when we do the live chats.
Yeah, so I want to know a little bit more about Run. You too should feel blessed to not suffer as some have in this messed up world.
Ooh. Why do you think everything's been perfect? There's definitely been some trauma, you know, but there are definitely
we both know each other's story. It's very traumatic.
But there are some people who have definitely gone through worse than you know, there's some people, yeah, but sometimes behind that smile there's a lot of trauma that's still blessed. Like that's what I have to do to survive is you know, in the healing process, if you focus on the gratitude. I was studying where the brain can only handle either anxiety or gratitude, and it's in the same portion of the brain. So if you focus on the gratitude, you're not as anxious because you're thankful for things. If you focus on the anxiety, you're not focusing on what you're grateful for. And that when you focus on the anxiety and let that take you over, then you forget what your blessings are. You forget the people in your life, and you start looking at things like, you know, why do I have this crappy trailer? Why can't I have this? And because you're anxious about trying to change your situation instead of living in the moment. But yeah, there's definitely people who have been through worse than myself, but pretty much everybody has some type of trauma. Sometimes even
and it has to do with generational trauma.
Sometimes too, like if I kept telling you, you are so beautiful, Mallory, you are so smart and you are so beautiful. Sometimes even that can be a trauma because you're like, now I got to be beautiful all the time. And if I'm not beautiful, I'm not myself, or if I don't have something intelligent to say. So even sometimes, you know,
it depends on what part of the healing process you're in. Like with me, I'm still in survival mode. So I'm constantly on high alert. Like I was talking about when I was talking to my one friend with PTSD who's in the military, and I was talking about my PTSD.
Right.
And how I didn't really quite understand it because until I was diagnosed with it. And I was kind of explaining it to him that I was like, I feel like I don't know your PTSD, but at least with you are removed from that situation. So anything you're feeling, any threats you're feeling, any visions you're seeing or, you know, thinking, in a way, you know, you're safe, you're home, you're not in that situation. But with me, I'm in survival mode because I'm still in the war zone. I can't remove myself from that situation.
Oh,
so
yeah,
all
it's like
my
repeating.
Feelings, I'm on high alert, and I have these panics and stuff like that because your thoughts when you're overseas, you have these thoughts like you're in survival. You're like, do this, blah 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 blah. These people are out to get me. I gotta protect myself. I have to be one step ahead. I can't make a mistake. And you know, you get all these thoughts, and your adrenaline is running, and that's appropriate at that time.
But too much adrenaline.
That's the way that you can survive. But once you're out of that situation, your thoughts, your beliefs don't really make sense in that setting, because you don't really need to be carrying a weapon and stuff and be in full gear, and people, the chances of you getting injured by somebody is very unlikely. But me, somebody, I'm still in that situation. I gotta be on high alert because I can't put my guard down. So my feelings at that time, some people may feel that it's not appropriate.
But your mind doesn't separate.
But I really can't, because I'm still in the war zone.
Let me get more bug spray. So do you deal with that like constantly, or do you ever get a break where you feel a little more relaxed?
I have trouble sleeping. I haven't really slept very well. Sorry, mosquito. I am afraid to go to sleep because every time I go to sleep, I have nightmares.
Yeah, so. Night terrors, nightmares. I've dealt with sleep paralysis before, and shadow people, and all that stuff. And I do think that there's something demonic out there. What do you guys feel?
But then we also have to look at it, because I guess the one person, some people deal with their mental health a lot differently. And a lot of people feel like they are a burden and stuff. Sometimes it's just easier just to laugh it off, because you know how much this pain is inside, and that you feel guilty for having your loved ones feel that way. That's some people,
right?
But also people like Robin Williams. He was a great guy. He was very loving, very caring, funny as hell. But not a lot of people saw the torment that he was suffering.
Right.
He always had that mask on.
And that's why he was such a class clown, or a clown, or like a comedian. Run says, I gave up sort of on stuff. Yep. Survival mode by the skin of your teeth. Pressure either makes or breaks a person. And that's why I want us to find some coping mechanisms, because there's ups and downs in life, and just don't give up on life. You say me too, all kinds of stuff. Run says, and yes, demonic forces and principalities do move around. And I do think there's something out there. We talked about like don't do them, but the Ouija boards and all those kind of things, or certain paranormal type things. There's something out there, and I think that there is some spiritual warfare going on, and when we're cut down. If you think about the reason behind breaking you down, it's to let all these demonic or things to ruin the family, things to ruin relationships. None of it is good when you're going through depression, anxiety, different kinds of mental illness. None of it is good, and it destroys the society, the family, yourself. So, you got to have like faith in either yourself or a higher power. Otherwise, it's overpowering sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's also a lot of people don't like with my masking is because I work in the health field. I work with individuals on the spectrum as well, and you kind of have to have that guard up in a way,
right,
to help them, because even though you're having a hard day, you're having a rough day, you have a job,
and you can't
you're
necessarily
a mother, you can't
express
afford
yourself
to break down, because you don't have that time. Like, especially
hi Steven,
when my dad passed away unexpectedly, I really didn't have the chance to grieve. It's been over a year, and just now I have the time where I can grieve. But when my kids bring him up, I can't really break down, because they need my support to them. Like, I can express like, yeah, I'm sad too, but I can't show them how
you got to be
so much pain I'm in. I have to kind of reel it in. And I think that's the hardest thing, is when you lose a very important loved one, but you have to be strong for the other ones around you.
I agree. Virago says, I believe in duality. If there's demons, there's angels too. Yeah. So decide, like I've had things where it's like, and that's how I went. It's like, this seems demonic. There must be a God. And runs, keeping secrets from us, retracting that message. Virago says, what if we are all in a demon realm? Maybe.
That kind of makes sense, because a lot of people say that we are living, like there's, like people think like, oh, this is our world, this is hell, this is heaven, but they say that this is.
So I'll tell you what, you say I only had 3 people on my page. I have Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube open. We're growing the channel, so feel free to join in. I will read, but if it's confusing, like where is she coming up with this stuff?
I struggled too in the beginning when I was listening to you. I'm like, where's I'm not seeing this.
Yeah, I should clarify a little bit
she
more
likes
often.
to multitask.
Multitasking, and that way, there's no lulls in conversations. We keep it going. Thank you for following. I appreciate that. And yeah, because YouTube, we were getting a lot of people in the chat, and then I took a break and I started doing a lot more with TikTok. I've only been doing lives for a little bit, but you guys are fantastic for the support. Hit
and
that
I don't
love
understand any of this stuff. I just come here to
talk. But I appreciate the follows. And Run says it's to break you down and make you into the person you're not supposed to be. Exactly. And when we start getting uncomfortable, that's when we're not living our authentic self. And thank you for the love.
But
you
also,
guys are
sometimes
great.
the breakdown helps you to better understand people, because I know
to rebuild.
Because with me, like I said, I had trouble understanding my patients with PTSD that weren't veterans. I had another situation that helped where I was unable, I lost my independence and stuff. And so it made me a better healthcare worker, because I kind of understood these people who were struggling and how they felt and how helpless they felt. Because that's a feeling.
Yeah, and that's how you develop
develop
that empathy. And that's how you can relate to them and listen to them. When you don't have that empathy, you're like, come on, like just get over with your story. Like,
so yeah, even though it was a really scary time in my life, I some people could just focus on how horrible that experience was, but I was able to learn from that experience. If I could, I wish it would never happen, but without it, it's made me a better caregiver.
True. And I'll tell you what, you guys, if you want to hit that like button, the love, comment, that brings more people to the page. So the more you guys comment, the more we grow, the more people you can interact with and hear their conversations too. So we can grow this channel together. I cannot do it by myself. Ron says to narcissistic person, those are weaknesses. And in a sense, when you can be empathetic, but when people start turning into like super empaths, or they're too empathetic where they forget to have empathy towards themselves. Everyone has PTSD. There's everybody has stressors that adapt to them.
I think is what makes a disorder mental health wise, because we all experience anxiety, is when it affects your life.
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah, because if I'm depressed and I can still get up and go to school, I teach. But John, how do you feel about that? There are things like I'm a burn victim, and broken bones and car crashes and custody battles, all that stuff. But like when I was a little girl, I told this story where the neighbor girl who was older took me to the park, and I fell on one of those merry-go-rounds. I fell off into the mud puddle that was right under that merry-go-round. I was devastated, covered in mud. And she's like, just come with me. It's okay. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to these camp counselors. I'm not at camp. I just want to go home. And she's like, no, I know them. They're really nice. And then they laughed at me. So is that necessarily PTSD? Yeah. I mean, I was covered like Like,
those camp counselors, they're
and the
children of
kids
their
too.
own, so they don't
But
really know.
and they're like
Sometimes.
18-year-olds or 16-year-olds. But, that's like a minor thing. Is that necessarily diagnosable? No, but it is like a trauma. So there's a difference between PTSD and trauma. And then I also talk about like
The Beatles are on.
there's these big beetles. I almost ate one last time.
Oh my gosh.
So Run says when it overwhelms you, definitely. Yeah, when it starts taking control of your life and you can't really function. John says, I'm in the United States Airborne Ranger Jungle Expert.
Oh.
I've never acknowledged it. You've never acknowledged that you have PTSD, or what is it that you've never acknowledged? I'm
kind of
I'm assuming you are talking about the PTSD, because I'd be telling people about that.
Well, I know a lot of veterans that do, and they don't want to face it.
And I'll tell you what, that's a very like tough masculine, if I may say it, power role, to where you don't want to seem weak.
Well, not just to seem weak, because
and it's not weak, but
they kind of feel guilty because they're like, I did it to myself in a way, or like it's almost like survivor guilt too, because it's like I put myself in this situation. I've had friends who are way worse than me, and I just have who are missing arms, who didn't come back,
and I gotta ask,
and I'm just, my feelings, like a lot of people did. I had this one patient who he worked for the VA. He had a service dog for his PTSD, but he could bring his dog to work, but he never did, because he knew
it was a visible sign.
Well, no, a lot of the other veterans and stuff were really hard on that. So he knew that he wouldn't be accepted and he would be rejected.
Well, let me ask you this, John. It says that you're okay. Have you processed it, or have you repressed it? Do you just not think about it and just move forward? I'm glad to hear that you're coping with it, but I hope that you're doing really well with it, because PTSD can be difficult, and I'm sorry you went through that.
And goes in waves.
True. Virago says, yeah, veterans have it the worst. And it's sad how, in America, that's where I'm from, how we treat some of our soldiers. Like, they are sacrificing their lives. And,
it was called, what was it? It was called something else before PTSD. Shell shock, I think.
Oh, yeah, shell shock.
Yeah. But just it's again, like all the mental health.
Yeah, Virago
it's gotten a lot better since COVID. People are a lot more understanding of PTSD now.
Virago says that unaliving is not supposed to be normalized. I agree. And it's like I told you, it's official. I live in the third most dangerous city in the state, and you hear so much about it. So John says, I have repressed it. And that's a survival mode. But John, this is important, because when we repress it, it can still cause like physical ailments, and it can cause cancers or high blood pressure or diabetes, all these kind of things. So for me, I'm a burn victim. And at my 5th birthday party, the barbecue exploded. I blacked out. I don't remember it. So that's not festering inside me, other than I get a little nervous around a fire. But I'm not like struggling with it, because I don't remember it. So there's a difference between
your mind
repressing
is disconnected, but your body still remembers.
So for me, I don't have to process that. I don't have to bring it up and deal with it. But I'm assuming the way you said you repressed it, because I would say I don't remember it. Can you share some of your coping mechanisms with it, or is it just not thinking about it? Hopefully you're not, drinking too much or doing other things that could be harmful. But lots of love to you. There's ways to, instead of just repressing it, releasing it. So,
but I can also understand like the fear of it too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're in a pressure cooker, and little by little, it's good to like bring it out. But you're at that first opening, you're afraid that it's just the top's just going to blow off.
Yeah.
And you're just going to lose all control. And
you don't want to relive it.
When you don't have control, it's very, very scary.
Because you can physically feel it. You
But
can
also
smell
that's
things
how you're
sometimes.
trained in the service. They're trained to shut things off.
And John, it might be good to talk about. It sounds like you don't even talk with your buddies about it. So we just want what's best for you. So thank you for your service. That's admirable. Run says, yeah, my dad is Vietnam vet and fighting cancer right now. His mind is wild at times. So praying
I
for
think those individuals
a
have a little
recovery.
bit of a harder time because when they came back from war,
They
they weren't welcomed really.
You know what a
And
slap in
so
the face that is?
you've had all the struggle. My uncle was in Vietnam, and he lost a lot of his friends, even when they came back, because they were exposed to Agent Orange, his unit, and he's one of the very few that were left that survived being exposed to that.
That Agent Orange, if you guys remember, I'm older than Mallory, but Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh no, I love her. Oh my God, I love her.
But she was talking to somebody who went through that Agent Orange, and he's talking. He's like, "Yeah, it was terrible. It was this, that," and then he takes his glasses off, and because he was telling all the ailments that came from it, and he actually lost his nose. It was just like 2 little holes right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I still remember it because she didn't expect it. He just said, yeah. And like the whole nose comes off because it was a prosthetic on his glasses. So Agent Orange was terrible. But guys, feel free to hit that love button to bring more people. The more you guys comment, the more people join us and grow the channel, the more I can dedicate with you guys too. Any donations go to our cooking challenge that Mallory's going to help me with.
Cook?
I want to make Marry Me chicken. That looks really good.
I've heard about that. Marry Me chicken, is that like the soup, or is there another type? Because I've heard the Marry Me chicken's like soup or stew or something like that.
Oh, I'm not a big soup eater. I like soup, but I never eat it.
I love Italian wedding.
Maybe we can make that. We'll have to see. And you guys can give us suggestions. It's so funny. I love Mallory, but some of our food tastes are different.
I know. She doesn't like eggplants. What's the name?
Eggplant, squash, onions, tomato. Like you can saute onions. I like that. Yeah. What else? Like I don't like fish. I like what little kids like, and she likes like the healthy grown-up food.
But my kids eat the same thing too. Like they eat the Brussels sprouts. They eat mermaid food, which is salmon.
And it looks pretty. Her food looks really pretty.
But I know you liked my tart. My tart was pretty good. The tart and it had
the tart. Oh yeah.
And it had eggplant in it.
Yeah, and I like. I'm not a big zucchini eater, but I like zucchini pancake. I love zucchini bread though. Isn't that weird?
It's better than banana bread, man.
Ron says my dad also. Okay. Virago says my mom hated fish too. Yeah, I live on a lake, and I think like if the world falls apart, I could survive forever here. Mm-hmm. I got land, I could grow vegetables, but I don't like to garden. And then I'm like, well, I can go fishing. Yeah, I'm not gonna fish, and even if I did, I'm not gonna eat it.
I hate putting the worm on the hook.
I can't do it. Yeah. I would starve.
I can't because they contract, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. So if the world falls apart, you guys are welcome to marry Mallory and I, and go fishing. We'll cook.
I just screwed myself over because my ex he knew how to hunt. He knew how to.
I know, mine too.
He knew how to skin animal. Like he knew all that stuff, and now I'm just like, whatever.
So hopefully it says great job. We've gone live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. I'm gonna keep going. Virago says I love fish too. You like to eat it? Ron says I like fish.
I want to expand my fish stuff because I know I've heard that perch and
salmon, tilapia.
I thought they were like
where's our
ground fish. So they're like
bottom feeders.
They're like disgusting. But I grew up on salmon and what is that one that has no flavor in it at all?
Perch?
I just smelled that.
Sorry.
No.
Greetings from North Carolina. Good to have you here. Hold on. Let me.
Hey, how far are you from Huntersville? I have some family there.
It's the waking up. John says, I'm a nice guy. I stay single for a reason. It's the nights that I don't want people around me. That's understandable. For some reason, when we start settling down, our mind starts taking over. So it's the waking up. Aw. So it sounds like you're a strong person and you're dealing with it. But if it's affecting your life, you might want to talk to even just. There's a lot of smoke.
Me
with
Or
her.
me inhaling it. I was like, just choking. Yeah, I think it's hard and stuff because when you wake up in the morning and stuff, like I know with me lately, I wake up in a panic.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, my heart is already like beating. My blood pressure is pretty good. My blood pressure is usually like 109, 107 over 74. But now my blood pressure is over like one. It's I know it's on the borderline of it. 120 over 80 around that.
Oh, the diastolic is high.
Yeah, which is now considered hypertension and stuff like that. But now every time I get my blood pressure, that's what my blood pressure is now.
See, mine runs really low.
Because my heart is always pounding.
That's not good. And that's the thing. Like,
you're scared to go to bed, then the terrors, and then you're afraid to wake up because of the anxiety of it.
And then when you're tired, you have a hard time functioning.
Or the exhaustion, like, oh my gosh, I have to get up. Now I'm up.
The dread.
And then I have to start it all over again and have to deal with this stuff all over again. Because it sucked. Because I was exposed to a lot of trauma. And I never had I've never been diagnosed with depression or anxiety at all. And then this big hit of trauma. And now I always have this constant anxiety, and it just sucks that I'm like, am I going to feel like this forever? Like, how do people live like this? Like, I've only been living like this for like 6 months. I can't, and it's not getting better. Like, it's just terrifying. Not having control of your body.
The insomnia was terrible for me with stress of PTSD and what happened to me. Phil's also talking about lemon butter fish, and Run thinks that tilapia is what Jesus ate. Could be. I don't know.
Swordfish. That's it. Swordfish. That's what my family used to eat all the time. Swordfish.
Onchopristis. Is that what it's called? With the Spinosaurus ate Onchopristis? That's like a ancient.
But is tilapia good, or is tilapia like really, really fishy? I'm not sure.
I know that some Muslims will eat a lot of tilapia. They'll have that during Ramadan and things like that. They don't eat the meat at that time, but they'll eat tilapia. John says, life is normal here. Work, I'm good. Home is okay. Lawn care, dishes, clothes, my dreams when I sleep. Well, good. I'm glad things are going good. And I hope you come and join us lots of different times and get to share your story and just make some new friends here. And Run says tilapia is not fishy at all. Okay. It's white meated, can make it all kinds of ways.
Okay. And I think also with John and stuff, just him being present and stuff, even if he might, just being around his friends, like even his friends don't talk about it, but I think just still having that bond with each other and just showing up every day, and them saying like, oh, John's showing up every day, so I can show up every day. Oh,
it gives other people motivation.
Even if you are still struggling or you're, keeping things inside, your presence has a lot more power than,
And that can give you some purpose too. We all need a purpose in life. Virago says swordfish is very dangerous to fish. So is our piranhas. I teach little classes on animals and like piranhas and stuff.
Actually, piranhas are not when I worked, I don't know if it's a little bit different, but I used to work when I was younger at a pet store, and I was in charge of cleaning the piranha and the barracuda tank.
Oh gosh.
And they're not as aggressive as people make them out to be.
Unless they're super hungry.
Yeah.
I've seen them eat
a cow crossing the Nile, or not the Nile. What is the one river?
Amazon.
Amazon River, where they're just going there, and he's alive, and just
capybara. How do you put capybara?
Oh, I love a capybara. I want one.
Ron says ahi tuna. Is that how you say ahi tuna? Pretty good, like eating steak.
I love tuna. With
Yeah.
some salsa on it. Oh.
All right, we're never gonna cook that though. Ron says my profile icon pic is I eat tuna and potato with green onion. Really?
Ooh, that does.
Your
sound really
profile
good.
is.
I wasn't even thinking
Is it
about
really?
that.
Oh my
Fish
goodness.
and potato. I would never expect to think of adding potatoes with fish. But that sounds really good. Okay, now I know what I'm making for dinner tonight or tomorrow.
Oh. Well, Sunday.
I made pizza. I made that delicious.
Oh, she makes a really
basil
good pizza. She let me make.
But my mushrooms went bad, so I had to use eggplant.
Oh. I would have still.
Eggplant,
Her
cherry
mushrooms dried out. I
tomatoes.
would have still put them on.
They kind of smell kind of funny, so I was like,
Oh, they smell like a fungus or something.
Yeah, but how do you know if a fungus goes bad? You know, it's kind of odd. Yeah.
Smelled like poop. That's what it grows in.
I know.
Oh, crazy stuff. So we got lots of people joining. We got does that say loser and skip and
I can eat raw fish.
Oh no.
I love
Virago says as long as the
sushi.
fish is cooked and not raw. Yeah, I will
love some
never
fish,
try sushi.
But I'm not gonna eat like a big chunk. If it has a big chunk of raw fish, no. But if it's like
just a little
small,
flavor,
fine.
Ron
Like
says I just
eggs.
made homemade pizza before I went onto the chat. Oh, what would you put on your pizza? Homemade pizza takes time, but it's really not all that bad. And I've made homemade pizza before too. What the heck is
something? But it was nothing was there.
Yeah, I had a bug last time, like right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna I'm gonna let Mallory move over just a little bit closer to where I am. So I'm gonna put that fire back on to get hopefully some smoke going.
Yeah.
All right. Hit that like button if you like the campfire.
Mm-hmm. I know. Pizza's like a comfort food. I love pizza.
I don't like school pizza.
Yeah, the school pizza's the worst. I don't like it.
All right, we're tearing up the Aldi's bags. You guys shop at Aldi's? I do.
Let's see. Oh, turkey, sausage, artichoke, green bell peppers, and mushrooms. Yes. That sounds delicious. I miss artichokes. I haven't had any artichokes in a long time. Lisa made a artichoke linguine. I'm gonna have to make that too. And I feel like my food palette has grown bigger with my kids. Because before, like, I wouldn't eat like bell peppers and raw onions and Brussels sprouts and stuff. But when I had kids of my own, I was like, we're gonna try eating this. We're gonna start it off, early. And
all right, 10 more likes or loves. Help me out, guys. Hit that like button or love button and get the fire going.
Yes, please. It's kind of cold. It's kind of cold right now. I wouldn't mind.
Help us get rid of these bugs so we can stay out here a little longer.
Get eaten alive.
I think they're like torturing us.
I know.
You want to see us get eaten?
I know. I should have gotten a t-shirt and stuff like that. But
you should have gotten what?
A t-shirt. I'm cold now.
Oh, hit that love button.
Oh, please.
Man.
The warmth.
We're gonna be out here for a while. Oh, I'm so sad. Where's my support?
Oh, I'm 15 and she's 25.
I'll be 54 next Friday.
Yay! Happy birthday.
All right, there we go.
I know. We need some mosquito candles.
There we go.
But it's kind of hard when you live by a lake.
Look how pretty that is, guys.
That is. That is nice.
Nice.
Now, how do we keep it? Does anyone know how we can keep it going? We just have to constantly feed it, or do we need something that's like a fire starter where it's a little bit like slow burn?
I might just go get
where it's constantly feeding the fire.
It might be the type of wood. Because if I remember, like at Christmas, we used to get those like
crackly ones.
Yeah, those wrapped in paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can kind of see it. They can see the fire a little bit, Mallory. You're 29, Virago says. Ron says, I'm 41. Just as of
15. Okay.
June 21st. Happy birthday. And we got lots of people joining in.
I guess the question is, how old do I look?
Yeah. How old do we look? How old do we look? We just told you how old we are.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? And
No.
Amy is here. Hey, Ames, how's it going? Hope you like your nickname. If you don't, feel free to tell me not to call you that. But we're just opening it up. You guys can talk about whatever you would like to talk about. We're here to kind of help you through any struggles that you might have, or just share some experiences or things you'd like to talk about, things you're doing this summer or would like to do.
Oh, and happy belated birthday, Ron.
Yes, definitely. Should we sing? Oh, I forgot. Well, we have to do this.
I don't think we can sing.
Hold on. No, this is the thing. Who just turned? Okay, Ron. This is a tradition that nobody took me up on it except Mia. So you ready? Here we go. Who looks 25, Mallory?
What's going on? Oh,
right,
thank you.
You will see. I came prepared. All right. I came prepared for this. Careful with your hair, though. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
I told you guys, if you guys give me your birthday and let me know, I will sing happy birthday for you. So I came prepared with this special little treat, and you're supposed to do it on that
kind of
day.
like fire, to be honest.
I kind of do, but it scares me. All right, so Mallory and I are going to sing to you. So it was who? Ron?
Yeah, it's Ron.
Okay, so if you guys, we do special things for you guys. So when it's your birthday, here's your little candle. Unfortunately, you can't see it too well, but it smells good. So ready? Wait.
Oh, what scent?
It's not.
What flavor? What scent is it?
It's going. It's burning.
It is burning, but you can't see it.
You can't see it on camera. So we're going to sing to you, okay? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ron. Happy birthday to you. Okay, you got to make your wish. Amelia will blow it out for you. All right. So, see, you can see it melted. I'm so sad you couldn't see the flame. But
we need to
when I do them
blue
inside,
flame or black flame candles.
I don't know what do they have those?
Yeah.
So yeah. Maybe we'll let this go for a little bit so the wick gets a little.
She's close to my age. Who's close? Ron, am I close to your age? Actually, Ron, you're pretty close. I'm really close to your age. I am 38.
Let's bring this back up one more time. Hopefully. This wood is not catching like I would like it. What's the best kind of wood for campfires, guys?
I don't know. Do you know what we really need to get? Driftwood. Because I think it burns, doesn't driftwood, like it burns blue or something from all the salt water and stuff like that.
Oh, this is fresh water.
I know, but I'm just saying, we can get some. We'll have to go on a trip, go get some driftwood from the ocean.
There you go. I like that idea.
Having little Nicholas Sparks. Have a little bit of Nicholas Sparks event. Everything happens in North Carolina. Who's our friend that's in North Carolina? Ames?
Was that John?
I'm not sure. Well, Ames or John or something like that. We're gonna have to go to North Carolina because
Yeah,
that's how we can find a man.
We gotta travel the world.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not around
or go
here.
to Canada and just shout, saying like, "I hate Christmas. I
Canadians
hate
don't
parties." No, because it's the Hallmark kind of thing, you know. When the women they come
we
and they're like,
have to be
smudgy, and they're like,
sad.
I don't need a man. I don't want a man. I'm
here
an
from
independent woman.
We got to talk about the family business. Ron says thanks. Nobody did on my birthday. Actually, thanks you too. You're welcome. And that's why we have this channel. Seriously, because it is about you guys. Your birthday is Tuesday. Tuesday, you got it. You got to come here. You got to text it so I can write it down instead of just in the chat. So if you like a video and say my birthday's Tuesday, I will set that up and we will do a live chat and I'll sing to you. Hi, Debbie. And Amy is here. And Charles, good to have everybody. So feel free to let me know when your birthday is. I like celebrating it for 23. You'll be.
Oh, wow.
So Phil's an easy name to sing, so we would love to have you. I haven't had that yet where I was able to ask Mia if it was Mia or Maya, but
Those
I
names always kind of like flip me because there's certain things. Like I had a friend whose name was Ina, but she spelled it differently. So it looked like
huh.
Ina. So she always
What was
got
the
Ina
girl's
all the time.
Anya? I know her name was Anya, I think, this girl. And
I know.
I like that name, but it was spelled like IONIA
Or
or
there's
something.
people that have like they go like being Catholic and stuff. There's a lot of people who have like Mariana, and everyone they would just flip. Or I had
Annas
friends.
and Annas,
I had
yeah.
a friend named Megan, and everyone would call her Megan or Megan.
Megan,
Megan.
yeah, there's that
So
too.
it's-
23rd birthday. Ron says Russian names can be crazy also.
Not really, because I had
If they're spelled in actual Russian, don't they have different letters?
Gaelic, yeah,
Mm.
Gaelic. I
Gaelic
think
is
I'd
hard.
have better chance with
Virago,
Russian.
thank you so much. Until next time, hit that like button one more time. Oh, you can only hit it once.
Oh, the Fea. See, that's a different way.
Thank you.
Is that what you're
Virago.
saying, Phil? Is Fea? Because I have a friend who has a daughter named
that's right.
Fea, and it's spelled totally different. I don't even think it starts with an F. To tell you the truth.
Who was it? There was one girl who she just
What
shared
name?
what her name was. It's not Sinead, but it was something Solange, or I can't remember what it was. Like, wait, what? Like the W had an F sound or something like that. It was like way crazy. I think it was an Irish. Was it Irish name? Maybe.
We have
Maybe.
a lot of Irish names in our family.
But like half the letters, like either you didn't say them or they were like a T and you make a V sound. It's like what?
Mm-hmm. Or they have just like in English, like
Ron
a
says
lot of people have.
Oh, Michael.
Michael,
yeah. Michael, Mike.
I'm guilty of that too because my daughter doesn't. I don't spell my daughter's name the right way. I just made it up. So.
And I know on TikTok, I said Mick, M-I-K or M-I-C. And that was probably, I thought about that. That was probably Mike, like microphone Mike. Vladimir is scary though. You think so?
Vlad, he was the sweet bunny who made chocolate chip cookies.
That's
in
true.
Horton Hears a Who.
Oh.
There's good Vlad and bad Vlad. Bad Vlad wanted to destroy the flower. Good Vlad was a bunny that made cookies.
And it looks like we have like confetti or glitter. Those are actually bugs. So we're risking our lives to be out here. But good to have you guys. And like I said, the topic is open for whatever you guys want to talk about.
I feel like we're on Survivor.
We are on Survivor. What does that say? Oh, logged out of WhatsApp. Yeah. No, never do. This was the only person that I ever considered like Facebook dating. And of course, a gorgeous person, very attentive, and only wanted to talk to you through WhatsApp. And I could tell. I'm like,
that's a red flag.
Well, he said
it's almost like, is it kind of like Snapchat? Because I have a lot of people like, hey, do you have a Snapchat? And I'm like, I have been in a relationship for many years. So, and when I was dating, we didn't have any of this stuff.
Right.
So I did not know what Snapchat was. And I was like, nope, I don't have it. But then later I found out that it's, yeah.
Yeah. And Virago says even Dracula is named. Is it Vladimir Dracula? I didn't know that. Yeah, look at all these bugs. But yeah, always let people know how you pronounce your name. I know some people are like, don't worry about it, but that's you. You should. That's part of you.
Oh, I know. That's how Aislinn was. Like, she'd be like, oh, you can call me Aislinn. And I'm like, that's not your name, though.
Ron says Snapchat messages disappear, which is a red flag. Exactly. Now, this guy, I picked up on his red flags. One thing, like I went to China. And so, I get excited talking about it, but he was supposedly Chinese and like his profile. So he probably knew where I was from or whatever. But so he has like his Chinese place, but he says he came over in the States and he's been here for 5 years, corporate job. And so really good looking. And we did talk, but he did very little pictures, which is fine, but the ones he sent, normally like if it's a new love interest, you're kind of excited. So I think they were stock photos of where he looked really, I don't know. And then he would show like cooking, how he said he would make this authentic Chinese soup. And he did it twice, but it was like gourmet looking. Like you've seen noodle soup and you throw in carrots or bok choy, whatever, but it looked like even just every little piece of vegetable was like perfect, and it looks so delicious, and such like the perfect depth and everything. And this is going to sound stupid because nothing against people that have mismatched um, plates or anything, but he had supposedly a good job, and they were mismatched bowls. And I'm like, granted, he's a bachelor, but to me, it was like, I'm not sure. Plus, both of them were so perfect. And to me, it was a red flag. Like, you just got to this country. I know they get money, and, so they can buy all new stuff. And if you go to Walmart, it's not that expensive. So, yeah, it was all about Bitcoin, and he wanted me to invest in it. And I'm like, well, why don't you just tell me about it? And he's like, well, if you have $100 minimum.
Was he part of the Illuminati? That's the next step. And they go Bitcoin, and then.
Yeah. A part of the, what is it? Yeah. People very shifty, and I'm not. Good. There needs to be more good people. And you guys are real quiet. Let me know where you guys are from. Hi, Bambi. Bambi's a beautiful woman. She's on Facebook.
Oh.
Yep, that's one thing about being tall. I can look over. We had the fire going in the background, so you guys can't see it. But if I get another, I don't know, 30 hearts or likes, I'll go ahead and restart the fire. But yeah, there are definitely shifty people in this world, and that's why I talk about all the different red flags. Sometimes red flags come across as somebody being really, really nice. And, you also don't want to be hyper vigilant and, discount the people who are. I'm 6'1". Yeah, I am 6'1".
How do you know? Like, just from other conversations?
Yeah. I share my. Do you remember what size shoe I wear? Let's see.
Don't you have a smaller foot than I do, though?
Our feet are about the same.
Yeah.
Like a size 8.5. Same height as you. Ah. Interesting. There's not that many. I'm taller than most guys.
But see, I come from a family where there's a lot of tall women too. Like on my dad's side.
Tall, like, what do you mean tall?
5'6". 5'11".
Okay, that is tall. Yeah, 5'11" is tall.
I'm the shortest in my dad's. My sister's the second shortest, and she's 5'8".
She's quite a bit taller than you.
Yeah.
We got people driving by probably.
And then, and then even my mom's side of the family, who's kind of short. I'm one of the shortest people
in the world.
But I don't feel like I'm short. I'm not that short.
She's in denial.
No. I'm not that short though. I'm like average.
Actually, yeah. Is it now 5'3" as an average woman? I thought it was like 5'7" before.
I think so, because everyone in my program and stuff was 5'3".
I think women might be shrinking.
It took me less time to hit perfection.
I had perfection like in 3rd grade. Ron says my cousin is like 6 foot. My grandma 5'11", and uncle is 6'3". Yeah, back in your grandma's time, women are pretty much shorter. I had an aunt that is probably somewhere,
but it's amazing,
probably even older than your grandma,
that
but
height.
It's a great aunt
because of nutrition and stuff like that.
Nutrition too. Oh, good point. Yeah, my one grandma, she was tiny, super tiny.
Oh my!
Her nickname, I loved it. Her name was Christina, and she went by Teeny.
Oh,
and she was
I
Teeny.
have a Tina, and I didn't know her name was Christina because everyone called her Tina. We had Tina and Lisa, and they're like, "Oh, I know your Aunt Christina." I'm like, "I don't have an Aunt Christine." And then she was saying, my Aunt Tina was right next to me. She's like, "What do you mean you don't know a Christina?"
Oh, she was
and I was like, "What?" Because all the Christinas I've ever known always went by Chris or Christy.
Right.
I never met another Tina, so I didn't know. Just didn't know.
Yeah, you live and learn.
Like, I have an uncle and a cousin named Mickey. One's a boy, one's a girl, and their name is Mickey.
Huh. Yeah, it's kind of accepted either way. Ron says she grew up a lot of her own food and raised a lot of animals till she got too old to take care of the livestock. What kind of livestock? They have cows and stuff or chickens. We have chickens. Like I was
Everyone has chickens
out in my
now.
front yard and this like chicken just walks up to me. I got that. I
Oh,
shared
I
that on
think it's
video.
from the corner.
It is. They have quite a few. They like
There's
9
this
or 10.
one intersection that's really busy. These people have chickens, and I'm surprised their chickens don't get
Oi.
hit.
I see oi.
Oi.
Oi. Oi, Gewalt.
What?
I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood. I'm not Jewish, but oi.
Oh yeah, because what? Yeah.
Oi, Gewalt.
Mm-hmm.
Cows and stuff.
Cows and stuff.
My nephew
Pigs.
says stuff
I
all
have
the
a
time.
sad story. So my dad had a friend who had a farm, and the
Old MacDonald?
emus would get out and get in the cornfield and stuff, and it was like a ghost and stuff. Every freaking night, these emus would escape and terrorize us because you could see them running into the cornfield, and the cornfield was moving and stuff. But I had bonded with this pig, and I love this pig. I had this. I was like, oh my god, I love this pig.
Was it a pink pig or a pot belly?
It was a big giant pig,
Oh.
and
Those
that
can
day,
be dangerous though.
yeah, I knew someone whose husband, her hand was all deformed because she was attacked while she was trying to feed the pigs. The mother pig had just given birth, and they're very
Oh.
territorial. And yeah, her hand was like. But anyways, I love this pig. I just met that day, and I was feeding it and petting it, and it was so sweet and kind. And then I went inside real quick with the other kids, and I came back out, and the pig was gone.
Oh.
They had taken the pig and put it in the pig roaster.
Oh
And
gosh.
I found out later on that was the pig that we ate, and I was mortified.
I would have freaked out. All right. That scares me.
Do you know one I always wanted, I never got. I always asked my like ex when we had like property and stuff. I want to get one of the hairy cows, the Highland.
A hairy cow. A
Yeah.
cow. Oh.
Cow, yeah.
I'm
And I
thinking
always
pig.
wanted one, and now they have like little miniature ones, and they're so cute.
Aww.
I know, but I'll never get my cow now.
Yeah, this stuff just kind of smolders. It doesn't really hedge.
Well, has it been out? The wood been out?
Oh, yeah.
It's probably wet because we've been getting some rain, so it's probably the outside is dry, but the inside is still wet.
That makes sense. I have to bring some inside. That's it. Yeah. I wonder if that's why. That would make sense.
Because yeah, it doesn't look like it's burning. You see it kind of is ash.
So how do I fix that?
You're just gonna have to get some dry stuff. I don't know. How do you dry wood? It just depends. Some people say like turn it up, turn it down. I don't know. Bark up, bark down. I guess I can ask my one friend.
So take some in the
cuts
house
wood.
and then rotate. Like
He
bring
cuts
it in for a little
wood.
bit?
Yeah, you gotta have it covered or something like that, or have a little area where you have a little tarp over it. Or we can go.
Oh, I should. Yeah, put a
You
tarp.
can steal some. I know where it's at.
We're. She's joking. She's joking.
No, I'm
Tell
talking.
me later.
Okay. We'll have to be very quiet.
Steal any.
We have to be very quiet because
We can borrow some
we could-
indefinitely.
yeah,
Borrow some indefinitely.
because they're in law enforcement. They might arrest us.
No, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
On camera.
There's plenty of. Trust me, there's plenty of wood. They have enough wood to last them for months.
Why is this not even lighting? Come on, people.
Cause it's wet.
I just squirted it.
And I was all set because I gave Ollie his medicine early. So
This
don't
is how
blow me up.
I was gonna say this. Yeah, this is how I caught on fire. He's doing too much
Yeah.
of that stuff. All right.
There we go.
Got that fire going again.
Oh, it's so hard because I'm like, it's like a mirror image. I don't know where to.
Where it's going?
Yeah, or to turn. I'm like, oh, go this way because the fire's over this way, but then I have to go.
All
So
right.
nice.
Just
You want me
make
to
sure it's
switch
safe.
so you can
Sure.
read? You need to be able to read. Join.
Here's this. So you guys are too quiet tonight. Tell me what you want to talk about.
Because it's Saturday night.
I know. Real Deal is here. Yes, we got the fire going. Good to have you here. How have you been? And we got Annex. Got lots of people joining. So just so you guys know, I have TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook open right now. So if you hear me reading other people's comments, but we were talking about what was it yesterday? Why is it so hard to get over the narcissist? And then today, like the different mental illnesses. I've seen that a lot of people mask because they don't want to be seen as different. They said, I was reading an article that borderline, they said, is one of the most difficult. I'm not too sure.
And I heard it's the most treatable.
That,
but I think I can understand, like, once you get the right treatment and medication stuff, then you can.
They do
get
have
over
some
it.
empathy. They have like almost extreme empathy, too much, and they forget about themselves. They get really, really depressed, and but if they can build up and see things in a different light, that Ron says, problem with dating is all materialistic driven. How are you supposed to love when they look at what you have, not who you are inside? There is a big problem with that. People are very materialistic. I just saw this one post. It's called The High Value Woman, and you have to be careful what we're teaching our women, because I'm kind of old fashioned. I like the whole old fashioned thing. But this one girl, she went on 3 dates with this guy, and her car wasn't working. So he said, yeah, I'll come over and I'll fix it. You just buy the parts and I'll fix it. And she was so upset. And she's like, he didn't offer to pay for the parts. So they've only been on 3 dates. And
that's
And some people are like, well, if it's only $20, he's being petty. I'm like, time
because
is
$20 adds up.
Well, they've only dated 3 times.
I wouldn't expect
Even
it.
$20.
I would even just be like, oh, I'd still pay you because I would.
And
feel
who's petty,
uncomfortable.
her or him, for that? I mean, he could be a gentleman and do that, but to have it expected.
See, I get a little nervous because it's like, oh, even though I'm buying the parts and you're doing the work, like, some guys are like, oh, I just bought you dinner, so we should, if you're just in there for dinner, like, oh, dinner, okay, nice, have a nice night, and they expect you, like, well, I bought you dinner, you could at least just give me a kiss, and you're like,
yeah, we're not kissing you just for a burger. But Run says you're a loser if you don't meet the check marks. I know it's hard. I know some people just want a tall person or a rich person. You gave up, never give up. Don't give up on yourself. But I get it. I gave up too.
And it's hard to find people. Like, I'm like, oh, am I gonna have to go on dating sites and stuff?
It's hard meeting people.
And my friends, like, who have met people on dating sites, like, oh yeah, you do great on there. I'm like, I don't know about that.
You would do great. You get a lot of people, but
I don't. I like the old school.
It's too dangerous.
But I don't like to go to bars. I don't want to meet someone who drinks.
Yeah. I said, oh, well, if I don't fit, I don't. Ron says it's hard even on dating sites. Dating sites, be real careful.
My channel are not right, or
Yeah. And the thing that makes it dangerous, though, is, let's say I'm like, I'm looking for somebody who loves kids. I want somebody who wants a long-term relationship, Christian, doesn't drink, whatever. So it just tells them what to say. I don't drink and I love kids. And, so it gives them all the manipulation tools, as opposed to like just meeting and I'd be like, oh, do you like to drink? And they're like, yes or no. But it gives them the whole script of how to manipulate you.
Or as women, it's even harder, especially now, like if you have children. It's kind of a...
So Ron goes to church every Sunday. Ron says, I drink wine and I'm Christian. When I was 8 years old, my dad went through this big epiphany on which religion is he going to do. And so he read the Quran, the Torah, the everything in the Bible, and then started to pick out the denominations he wanted to go to. And we went to, it was either Lutheran or Methodist. Now I can't remember. I want to say Lutheran, might have been Methodist, but they had the communion. And I remember I was just a little girl. There was only like 11 people there, but they had the wine, and I'm like, and they just tilted it. They didn't give me some.
I can remember, you can start drinking that wine when you're 12 or something like
Oh,
that.
and then they
It's
had
been a while since I've had my reconciliation. So I
they
don't
had the body of
remember.
Christ. Now this is the first time I've been to church, and so I kind of knew what communion was, but not really. So I already didn't get the wine, and then they get this little circle disc, and
Mhm.
it felt like cardboard. And I'm like, Dad, what is this?
I always
And
just try to.
he goes, just eat it.
No, the thing is I because I was always told like you're not supposed to chew it. You're supposed to just let it melt in your mouth and stuff. But me, I was always curious. So when I would get it, I would try to keep it like on the roof of my mouth so it wouldn't like melt. So
Oh,
later on, I could like take it out and like actually see what it looked like and stuff. But
oh, see, ours we
my
would.
family, we never drank the wine. Like even like my grandparents were like, "You don't drink the wine because you'll get sick," like 'cause
Yeah,
they just wipe it with like a little paper.
I kind of hope they changed that because yeah, we got to be
But
careful.
I remember in my church when they got rid of the holy water, it
Oh,
was so devastating. They're like, "Wait a second, we can't
hey,
have holy
Daryl.
water because it's supposed to be blessed. So apparently you can't get germs from holy water."
Oh,
So, but they took our holy water away and we were really upset.
Ron says I went to a Catholic school, and I got the rounded view. There you go. Yep. Yeah, Catholic. It's a little different than how I practice, but they have more. You guys like pray to Mary and just a couple different things like the saints and everything. But yeah, there's a lot of different religions out there. I think most religions though do try to focus on being a good person. There are. How do you guys feel about like real deal? You tell me too. How you guys feel about like the 10 Commandments? Like, do you think whether you're Christian or I don't, Jewish people follow that, don't they? Um, but it's like a good life guideline. So even if you don't believe, it's still good. Ron says, I'm Christian, but my family wanted me to experience how they did things. Now, you're the one that said you were Native American, correct? Also mixed, but Native American. That'd be kind of neat. I went to a wedding of a friend of mine who did like a Native American wedding ceremony, and they had a big old eagle feather and they bopped her on the head with it, and all the dust came. But it was kind of neat to see. They got some cool traditions and stuff. It is amazing how people in the olden days survived.
How so?
Just like certain medicines that they did or
Lots of
routines.
Coke back then. That's how they survived.
That's why it's
Just
so
Coke.
amazing.
You felt tired? Here's some Coke.
Yeah. Shh. My neighbors.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Jeez, Coca-Cola.
But I mean, just how they learned how to make butter, or that was probably what in the covered
Or making
wagons
sure
or
they pick
something.
the right berries.
Yeah, it's kind of scary what they did.
Just even
Probably
the
go
common
through too.
cold, could wipe out everybody.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I just saw a post on Facebook about the smallpox vaccine. Who knows when?
I got a funny story about smallpox.
Uh-oh.
I think I probably told you this. When my ex was, oops, grab
Did you see it? No. Did you see it? It's in the hair.
hair?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's a little. How did you see that little thing? But when my
Is that it?
when my ex is being deployed,
I don't like
they
bugs.
have to be vaccinated. So so pretty much the military, or if you come from another country, you're only going to be the one that has the smallpox scar from the injection.
I have it.
Yeah, most. Oh, you have it.
I have it.
Because I don't even think what's his name has it.
He should. He's old enough.
I don't
Can you
think
still see
so.
it? It should be right around here. It's kind of.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, I don't
because
think,
it was I think 1972. It's either 72 or 73. I know it's 72. I was born in 70. My sister was born in 73. So 73 and 75 sisters, they don't have it. My brother was born in 69. I was born in 70 and I have it. I think it was 1972 when they stopped doing it. And my grandfather has, well, he passed away, but he had 5 pock marks from 5 injections. My mother and my father had 3. And then my generation had 1. So
because they wasn't enough, whatever. So anyways, so everyone got their smallpox vaccines and other stuff. They don't really tell you what you're getting. They won't tell you what you're getting. You have no choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You have to get vaccinated. Um,
This is for the
dark
service or to
history,
go
a
overseas?
lot of test studies were done on
Yeah.
on soldiers, the American soldiers at least.
Really?
That's what smoking. They used smoking to see how addictive it was. They would
You're-
put it in their little meal packs. I'm sorry, I'm really bad. I know.
So they
Meal
were.
packs, and the only way that they could get a break is if they smoked, because they wanted to test how addictive smoking was.
Is it addictive or is it? I mean, it is.
Yeah.
But is it that they just wanted a break?
And they wanted to push it on them because to increase the sales and stuff like that. So the
and
only way
also
you could,
for it to
the
seem
only way that you
macho
could get a
and-
break in the military is if you smoked. And so people,
That's
so
terrible.
they would get this habit and stuff. So they
Well,
kind
you
of
think
studies
about it,
on them and stuff like that. Yeah.
they're in their prime until 35, 45. So it doesn't matter. They get
So
lung cancers when they're 50.
one of the younger guys got smallpox, and they told him, keep the Band-Aid on it, don't touch it, don't rub it, you don't want it to spread. Well, this guy, I don't know if he wanted to get deployed or he did it on purpose, but he's really wrecked his life for good because he was scratching it. He was covered from head to toe. Even his private parts had
with smallpox.
Yes. And that will sterilize you, which that guy probably should be sterilized if he's that dumb to touch smallpox. Yeah.
I didn't know it would. Oh, that's scary.
But I did think they did treat him and they did send him back out. So
but Run says, let me catch up. So got all kinds of stuff going on. A lot of herbs. My grandma did a lot of old remedies, and your dad was born in 45. Okay, so that's around when my parents were 41 and 44. And they did all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was a different world back then.
sorry, I'm like gurgling.
Yeah, well, even just like with the chicken pox, people, the COVID people are like, let's have COVID parties, just like how we had like the chicken pox parties.
That's not how it goes.
Yeah, there's too many people that lost their lives from those COVID parties, and sometimes we have to really know what we're doing as opposed to going off of one thing, thinking it's going to, A lot of tests were done as experiments.
Because back in those days, they didn't have to have consent.
Well, even like the circus and people being sold and
Baby Albert, I'm scarred for life because of Baby Albert.
That was
it was experience.
Was it a rat? It was something fluffy.
Yeah. So every
the
time,
monkey?
No, that was even. Oh gosh, that was even worse too. But
they terrified him.
There's a little baby named Baby Albert, and they started off with like fur coats and stuff. And every time he saw this fur coat, they would like make a loud like cymbal sound, like lots of noise to startle him, to where he was terrified of any animal, anything that was resembled animal fur.
Didn't they have like a rat chasing them?
They did a lot of studies on babies, lots of like psychological.
They also had where they had like it was a chimp or a monkey with a human baby, and
they grew up as siblings.
Yeah, but what happened is like they wanted to see how the chimpanzee would pick up what the baby did and kind of grow with human traits, but it was more like the human had the chimp traits.
Or
so a lot of tests
to impregnate women with monkey DNA and then vice versa.
Jeez. Run says they would tell them they were going to be fine. And sometimes too you just offer people money when they're poor. MK Ultra is real stuff. Horrible torture psychologically. I'm not sure what MK Ultra sounds familiar, but I don't know exactly what that is. Sounds like a makeup to me. Mary Kay Ultra lip liner.
I'll buy that. No.
I know, right? There's terrible experimentations that they've done on people.
And I think they were supposed to reverse Albert, but they never did. They just sent him. They never.
And that's hard. Like sometimes you can't. You can't always de-traumatize
the developing brain.
Because it causes brain damage. like to where you can see it on brain scans. And I wish they would do that, like how these people who struggle and they go through like thousands of dollars of visits and personality inventory type tests, and it's like, just do a brain scan. You'll know what's wrong with them, because you can see the different activity, you can see the different areas that don't light up. They should just do a brain scan, and they know this is how we have to help them. Ron says they hide the paperwork on it. Someone stumbled on it, otherwise no one would have known.
Well, that's a lot of thing with the Holocaust and stuff. There was a lot of people were caught burning any information they got.
Atomic Space is here. Yeah, it's scary. I think. Hey, KJ's back. Good to have you guys. I love it when you guys return. Feel free to show me some love. And what do you guys want to talk about today? We're talking about pretty much everything. Manchurian Candidate. Manchurian. My goodness. You gotta brush up on that. But yeah, the experiments that they did, there was one on Phineas Gage though, which was really interesting about he was like coal work. I can't remember what he did for a job. He was like a worker, and I want to say railroad, but he had it's either coal or railroad, maybe coal, but he had a metal rod that went through like his brain portion right up here, and it changed his personality. He's one of the first where they realized that, whoa, traumatic brain injuries can alter personality, because he was a really good guy before, and then he turned like pretty hostile and anxious and abusive.
Or they're very messy, and then they get a head injury, and they're really, really neat.
Smack me in the head. I've been struggling organizing. I'm down to the point where, like the final stretch, like what do I keep? What fits where?
And if you have one of something, you get rid of the rest. Okay, you don't need 7. So
whose rule is that? If you have, but I always get scared. I'm clumsy. I'm going to break something. I have like 3 or more of everything, don't I?
At least 3 of everything. It is crazy.
But it was nice during COVID where I had everything I needed, like hair conditioner or soaps or
No, that's fine. I'm just saying like big items and stuff, like 5 microwaves.
I'm down to 2.
Oh,
okay. I am down to 2. So you proud of me?
I am very proud of you.
Now I can make room for more stuff. But that's good though. I got rid of 3 since I've been here.
That is a big step for you.
Yes. So I am trying. Well, listen, guys, thanks so much for joining us. If there's something you want to talk about now, speak now or forever. Hold your peace. Hit that like button. And I don't get to go to a wedding, so let me say.
I object.
I wasn't panicked. COVID was a mess. Yeah, COVID was a mess. Yeah, it got more people joining. Oh my gosh.
Of course.
Yeah, and I'm from East Michigan and live in West Michigan now. And people in West Michigan, did you experience that too, where they're like, "This is just a joke"?
Who was like that, in the East or the West?
Over here, West, where they weren't believing it was bad.
I don't know. I think it's because
it started
political views a little bit too.
Yeah, but I think
it was getting. It hadn't really hit the West side,
right?
Because it hit really, really hard on the East side. I had some family members who died from it.
Me too, and I think it's because of the Detroit International Airport.
Because everything is so the population is bigger. Our county is the largest county.
True,
populated, populated, not as big, but populated.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more people there on top of each other. So it got really bad because it wasn't as. I don't think it didn't get as bad here.
Let's hope we never go through that again. That was terrible, and it gets a little scary too. With like,
it was kind of nice. It brought a lot of people together. It brought my family together, but going back to the real world made it. Then you had to bring more stuff in, and that's what kind of
That's true. We helped each other out more.
Crumbled. Yeah.
Ron says it was depending on where you were and how close together things are in your area. Yeah, you're correct. Thank you so much for liking the live. I appreciate that, Jay. We're just out here. I can't see the lake right now. You can see. I don't know. Can you guys see it? Okay.
There's some lights. You can see the little.
Yeah, we got the little border lights, and we
More
started
on Facebook than I feel like on.
Yeah.
Just looks like little stars.
But I like doing that where we start out, you know, see the
light
sun go down. The moon?
No.
Can you guys see the moon?
Neighbors. They have crazy lights out over on their dock. But yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. I'm going to go ahead and log up at. Oh, you're in Lansing.
Lansing.
Right there. It's right in the crack. Is it Jay? Oh, Jay.
Oh, hey.
I remember Jay. Jay's been here before.
He's been here?
Not to my house, but in the chat. Ron says, my friend got COVID twice. She was unvaccinated. Mosquitoes do suck, Phil says.
My family was vaccinated and they got COVID like 3 times.
Yeah,
but
I didn't get vaccinated.
But my dad, who had positive blood, he didn't get COVID.
Yeah, I think there is something with this positive blood that
look some more research in it, man.
Because they're really the universal donor. They can't receive. Who is it?
Actually,
the negative can't
negative.
receive. Yeah, negative.
Negative is O negative is the universal. But a lot of people are more positive, so O positive is fine.
Ron, you never had COVID? Is what you're saying?
What?
But Jay,
see,
nice.
I told you. How crazy is that? How crazy is that?
That's interesting.
I have a theory. It seems to be working out perfectly.
Never got it. Good for you. And Zoila, if I say that, look at your cute little emojis. Is that kitty cat? Amy is here. Hey, Amy. My friend from a little bit down south. Hope things are going good for you. And we're just kind of having a little campfire. It's starting to die down. If I get 50 more hearts on TikTok, I'll go ahead and relight it. But
50? That's a lot.
All they got to do is hit it 50 times.
Oh, so
I don't think it's 50 people. I got one so far. Oh, that's me. That's my little button.
Can we give ourselves some hearts? Can we?
You can try.
There we go.
Your mom didn't get it either. Oh, that's fun to do, guys. It's fun to just give hearts. Do it.
Spread love.
Spread the love. But Jay, thank you for liking. And I'm going to go ahead and log off. Good to have you guys here. And tomorrow I have a baby shower. I have to go across state. Not sure what time I will be here. We got Tuesday. We got a birthday coming up. So we'll sing our little happy birthday. And yeah, guys, just send me a message on like a video and just go ahead and post underneath when your birthday is. And I'll sing a special little thing live for you guys. One of these days we're going to have roasted marshmallows. Ooh. And then next Friday is my birthday. So maybe you guys can sing for me. Upload your vocal tracks. All right, guys, thanks so much. And I will see you in the next video. Topic requests are welcome. One-on-ones are available. And oh, wait, hold on. Oh, did I just not? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, good. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good night. When I hit that, it scrolled up. It doesn't want to hang up.
It doesn't want us to end.
I guess. Brian B., you are the top viewer. Good job, Brian B. All right, good night. Sleep well. All right.